One at a time, and we'll get the job done. Y'all know what to say. On three. 1, 2, 3.
And the home of the Jets.
Good evening, everybody. Let's talk Jets. March 2nd. We are 1 week away from free agency. The NFL scouting combine has come and gone. The Jets made another trade. Bubs, what's up, my friend?
Tyson, how's it going? How's everybody doing in the chat? It is finally March. Looking forward to free agency here in a week from today. So lots to dive into coming out of the combine, lots of rumors, lots of updates. So offseason starting to really get into gear here as we've hit the month of March.
Oh, there is a lot to talk about. I'm excited about it. Now it's like we went through a little kind of a dry period where you kind of generate some stories, and we probably overkilled some topics. But now it's like you could talk about legit, on the field stuff with the scouting combine. Rumor mill is big. You can see through some stories that are out there. But I think what we should start off with is the trade, which we talked about. But Jermaine Johnson being traded to the Tennessee Titans with Robert Saleh. And once Aaron Glenn says and go to a 3-4 defense, you're like, all right, who's going to stay? Who's going to go? How much are they going to make? To me, the trade worked for both sides. The Jets, Jermaine Johnson kind of lost his spot here. He's still young, but he's not a good fit in the defense. Big contract demands. He's going to probably come up next year. Devondre Sweat kind of wore out his welcome to the Titans. Not really a good fit for Robert Saleh. So Jets get a run-stopping nose tackle, a prototypical nose tackle. Titans get their pass rusher.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're spot on with kind of that assessment of it. I think it's a good win-win trade for both teams. Jets get what they want. Titans get what they want. Robert Saleh specifically gets what he wants, reuniting with Jermaine Johnson there in Tennessee. And we've talked about this a lot, but all offseason, it's kind of been heading in the direction of the Jets changing schemes and changing from a 4-3 to a 3-4. Carl Dunbar hiring hinted at that. Even the hiring of Brian Duker hinted at that. He comes from a 3-4 background. And we mentioned it a lot here on the show that Jermaine Johnson just doesn't fit as a 3-4 stand-up outside linebacker. He fits more in that 4-3 defensive end role, a guy that can, switch inside. And we've talked a lot about Arvell Reese and David Bailey being options at number 2 who fit as a 3-4 edge rusher. So from that perspective for the Jets, he was playing under the 5th-year option. He's probably not going to be here long-term. You weren't going to bring him back after this season. Get value for him now. Get as much as you can for him now. And from the Titans' perspective, Devondre Sweat fits in the Jets defense, but doesn't fit with Tennessee because Saleh obviously runs a 4-3 and Devondre Sweat's more your prototypical 3-4 run stuffing nose tackle. And look, is Devondre Sweat a flashy player? Is he somebody that's going to rack up 10 sacks? No, but he's going to clog up running lanes. He's a beef that this Jets team needs in the interior of that defensive line, right? Jawan Briggs, you throw Devondre Sweat in there. We'll see what happens with Phillips. If you bring Phillips back, that's 3 solid interior defensive linemen for this team. They need to be better against the run. He's been very good against the run in his 2 years there. And we've seen Darren Muji do this a lot where they trade for young, cheap players with years of control. And that's what Devondre Sweat is. And that's the opposite of what Jermaine Johnson was because this was the last year of his contract playing under the 5th-year option. And say what you want about Muji and Glenn and this regime. That is one thing that I will give them credit for. I do like the way that they've been able to go out and trade for some of these younger, cheaper pieces. Jarvis Brownlee, you want to throw even John Mechie out there. Throw Jawan Briggs, even Harrison Phillips, not necessarily the younger player, but we've even seen them throw late round picks for these guys where a 6th or a 7th round pick, the value you're getting in Jawan Briggs, Harrison Phillips, Devondre Sweat, not exactly that example, but the point being is you're probably going to get more out of Briggs, Phillips, Brownlee than you would out of that 6th or 7th round pick that you would have ended up sticking and drafting with on day 3. So
no,
the point is Muji's shown the willingness to make these trades. It's a good move for both sides. Titans get what they want. Jets get what they want. And Now you feel like you fixed the edge rusher spot, add somebody opposite of Will McDonald in the draft, which you have to now without Jermaine Johnson.
Yeah, I think the big thing too is, they weren't gonna re-sign Jermaine Johnson. They saved a ton of cap space too. They saved $10 million of cap space. It's a huge number of cap space. They got a guy that's got 2 more years on his deal. I think Kadu just said too. It's like you made a trade for a guy that's young, cheap, and here for 2 more years, this year and next year. That's good. Run stopper. The Jets' run defense has been horrendous. And again, these are all pieces to the puzzle. Like the way I look at this Jets free agency is, you're not going to get all the top tier guys. You've got to crush the mid-level guys, all the hard-nosed, the lunch pail guys, the blue-collar guys. You got to get a lot of them to upgrade the talent base on your team, to upgrade the leadership on your team, the integrity, the nastiness, and everything else. And this is one piece to the puzzle. Now, there are some rumors about Sweat where he's got some weight issues here and there, some motivation issues, whatever it is. I think what that could do is, just like this can motivate him. This can motivate him. When people come out and say, "Oh man, you can't do this, you can't do that." You give him the Aaron Glenn, you give him the Carl Dunbar. Say, "Listen, this is what we want from you. You do this, you make a lot of money in this league." So maybe a change of scenery works for him. You never know, but it's worth a shot, man. Like, you've got to keep figuring out ways to upgrade your roster. And this reminds me so many times, when you change your coaching staff, a lot of times you got to change your personnel. This is the kind of shit that should have happened last year, but last year they blew it. Now, the one thing is, going into this free agency, they can't have a free agency like last year, because as you mentioned, Moochie did a really good job with trades. But if you look at the free agent class, it was horrendous, dude. It wasn't good at all, starting with Justin Fields and everywhere. They went bargain basement shopping, and it pretty much blew up in their face at every level, where these guys were barely contributors. This year, you have almost $100 million of cap space. You have to be aggressive because you're fighting for your job. You also got to fight to make your team competitive. You're wiping everybody out. You got to replace talent here. So they got plenty of money, and they have no excuses. Now they're going to say, "Oh, well, there's a Jets tax. Don't care. Pay it." The other problem you're going to have is the guys they want, a lot of other teams are going to want, right? So if they say, "Hey, look, well, Alec Pierce is going to get tagged." Okay, fine. Everybody wants Romeo Doubs. Everybody wants, who's the other guy? Rashid Shaheed. Everybody wants the same players. If you're going to find ways to upgrade your roster, you have to overpay. You're going to have to be creative. You got to find ways to do it. And you've had all offseason to do it. You've had all last year to do it, because last year was a complete waste.
Yep. Yeah, you even throw Wan'Dale Robinson in the mix too as another name where you might have to go a little bit above or near his market value, which is certainly, I think, a little bit higher than probably the Giants would like. I don't think he's going back to the Giants. Kind of sounds like they're out on him. So he's another name where you might have to go a little bit above and beyond. But yeah, you're so right there. I mean, in terms of especially the defense, and last year, like, this regime just in general doesn't have the built-in excuse of, oh, it's year one. The Rodgers cap hit. They didn't have a ton of cap space last year where they were able to they went dollar store shopping, bargain basement shopping, all that stuff. They don't have that excuse this year. They don't have the built-in year one. It's, year one, we're getting a pass. They got to win. They know they got to win. They have to compete early next season. You can't start out 0-3, 0-4 on the hot seat with Glenn and Muji, or else there's a good chance Glenn's out that early in the season. We've talked about that a lot. So, yeah, you've got to make legitimate moves. You've got to be able to improve this roster and feel good about this roster going into the draft. Really go into the draft where you're able to kind of supplement what you did in free agency. Don't have it where you basement shop in free agency and then you got to hit on all your draft picks just to get to a competent level. This roster is so barren of talent right now that you're going to need to use a lot of this cap space and all this draft capital, even that draft capital, whether that's to trade up, trade back, whatever. Use all of that to round out this roster. Need another receiver. Offensive line depth. You look at the defense, all 3 levels of the defense need help, from defensive line to defensive end now, right? Whether it's draft, whether it's free agency, linebacker, safety, corner, there's holes all over this roster. You've got to be able to supplement and build it out through free agency and the draft. So both ways. Yeah.
I mean, you made a really good point. Like last year, the Jets got a pass. Well, it's the learning on the job, first time staff trying to find their way. They've got to understand what contracts they have, what players they have. They've had a full year to figure it out. Now they've had an entire offseason to figure it out, especially when the season was so poor last year. Like, listen, we know where all our holes on our roster. They're glaring now. You keep weeding out players, removing contracts, removing attitudes, removing all these things. Now it's your chance to put your blueprint, all your fingerprints all over this team, and it starts a free agency with no excuses. Now, the big question is, who's going to be the quarterback? Now, a couple different things are out there right now. The first thing is, the one thing we got to keep in mind with the Jets, this new regime is very savvy with the media. So when you hear a report from Brian Costello saying the Jets are not interested in Kirk Cousins, Me personally, that says Kirk Cousins is not interested in the Jets and they try to save their embarrassment. Similar to when the Jets were going through this coaching search and they didn't interview Ben Johnson. They didn't interview, you name the guys, all the top coordinators. It was just like, oh, Cliff Kingsbury. Oh, they weren't interested. No. They're interested, but they found behind the scenes that it's not going to happen. Let's save face here and say, no, we're interested in Kirk Cousins. The other thing is, to me, this whole Kyler Murray thing, I'm telling you, I do not believe an ounce of it. There is not one facet of Kyler Murray's game that matches what Aaron Glenn's looking for or what Frank Reich is looking for. Prototypical pocket passer, smart with the football, leader, all these different things. He's not that guy. He's not a culture guy. The Jets are trying. They're going above and beyond to try to change their culture and bring in all this leadership and high character, high work ethic guys. Kyler Murray isn't that. So for my list right now, Kirk Cousins is off, Kyler Murray's off. So the more we got to keep thinking about it, you got to think of Jacoby Brissett, Andy Dalton. The Jets are going to sign 2 veteran quarterbacks. They're going to draft somebody to have Brady Cook. That's no breaking news. Like you say, oh, Jets are going to get 2 quarterbacks. No shit.
Yeah.
Justin Fields is going to be gone. Right now they have no quarterbacks on their roster. Fields is gone. Tyrod's a free agent. There's nobody here. They have to sign 2. But we got to think, we got to be more realistic here and say, you know what? It's not going to be Malik Willis at $25 or $30 million a year. That's not happening. So it's going to be these Brissett, Dalton, and that's fine, dude. Because if you have a really good defense, playing good defense, good special teams, at least you can be competitive. And that's all we can do at this point.
Yeah, I don't buy the Kyler Murray stuff at all. And I understand with the release and the possibility he'd come cheap at just $1.3 million. But I even go back to that Glenn clip from a couple years ago on that podcast. I've seen that clip surface over and over and over again from early in the offseason. It surfaced. Now this week it surfaced again with the rumors starting to heat up about, him, the way they played against him, the off the field stuff with Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, we all know what he is off the field in terms of he's not a leader. He's not somebody that's going to galvanize a room. Nope. He's not somebody that in that huddle guys are going to rally around and buy into. We know that the work ethic, all that stuff, there's all concerns there from his time in Arizona, all real issues. You're spot on. Everything that Glenn wants in a quarterback, Kyler does the opposite. He doesn't want a celebrity quarterback. That's kind of what, him and even Parcells going back as that's what he doesn't want. Kyler is kind of fits that billing of that. In terms of Frank Reich, same thing. Kyler does not fit that billing of a pocket passer, stand up, big arm, make the plays. He's a smaller quarterback. We all know that. That's more mobile. That is not what Frank Reich's worked with throughout his career. That's not what Frank Reich's system necessarily fits. I think the Kirk Cousins thing, I think it's Kirk just not wanting to be here too. I don't buy into the Jets are out on Kirk. No, Kirk's out on the Jets. I think that's really what it comes down to. Again, are any of us surprised about the Kirk Cousins not wanting to come to the Jets?
None.
It's here we are again with that. But Andy Dalton's very interesting. There's the name that kind of popped out too. And I know you just mentioned it just because of the connection with Reich from Carolina, another veteran. That's an interesting name to keep an eye on. I could always keep going back to Brissett. How does that all play, though? What does Arizona view him as if for their future? Like if they view him as their starter, they're obviously not going to get rid of him. So a lot of what Arizona does there, too, post Kyler Murray release will dictate a lot on what happens with Brissett and if that's realistic for the Jets. Don't buy into Malik Willis. To me, Malik Willis is a lot like Fields last year. Not saying Malik Willis is going to be Justin Fields, but I'm saying from the Jets standpoint, I don't think they're going to make that move for a young quarterback with upside, banking on the hope of we get it right and he can be a long-term option. That's what Fields was last year. It obviously blew up in their face. And I don't see them paying that money for him either.
You can literally get the price of 2 quarterbacks for Malik Willis. Yeah. You can get Brissett and Dalton for the price of Malik Willis. And the Jets right now, right? And after their failed experience last year with Justin Fields, it's just you just can't do it, dude. You can't do this. Take another flyer on a guy that has potential and you coach him up and do great things. Don't see it happen, dude. They need a more consistent, and that's why everybody's talking about the whole Tanner McKee trade, all this. I'm like, you can go get Tanner McKee. You got to get Brissett too, though, or you got to get Dalton too. Like, you need guys that have been there, done that in the NFL, that can run a goddamn offense, can maximize the potential of Mason Taylor, can maximize Garrett Wilson, can get in and out of the huddle, timeout. Like, you need a leader, a legit proven leader. No more of this, let's try this, let's try. They can't do it, dude, because they have to establish something. So next year in 2027, we actually know what the offense is. We know what these players are. Like, hey, what is our offensive line? What is Breece Hall? What is it? Like, there's so many different things we got to figure out that this is the year to do it with a competent quarterback.
Yeah, you can't have a young project under center week 1.
Absolutely not.
Fine. Young project, and a rookie behind a Brissett, behind a Dalton, fine. But McKee can't be your week one solution.
Nope.
I've even heard this name, and I know it's crazy and unrealistic. The Anthony Richardson stuff's not happening
Absolutely
either. I've seen that pop up. That's just fantasy land at this point with Richardson. I don't want anything to do with him either. You talk about a guy that's had some issues. All of a sudden, he's going to come to the Jets, and his on-field play is just going to take off. Like for a regime too, we have to factor this in too. This coaching staff, this regime, they need to win. They can't have and put all their eggs in the Tanner McKee basket or a rookie going out there week one when they have to win football games. They have to win games. And the best chance to do that is, as sad as it sounds, it's going off of the floor of a Dalton, a Mariota, a Brissett, where they're at least going to run the offense, at least run a Frank Reich offense, know how to run a Frank Reich offense at a competent NFL level. And then eventually, whether it's a Ty Simpson, whatever rookie you have, eventually later in the season, after sitting, kind of what the Giants did with Dart now. They put Dart a little bit early because Dable is trying to save his job, and there could be that situation with Glenn, just the way the timelines shake up. If things start slow, he throws the rookie out there to try and save his job. But the point being is, yeah, you've got to go after just two veterans like the Giants did and have a competent NFL-level quarterback, which you even want to throw Geno in the mix as well as another name that we've discussed on this show. A lot of what happened in Vegas last year, as much as people pin it on Geno, there were obviously a lot of issues. I mean, Chip Kelly got fired halfway through the season. Pete Carroll was a disaster. So that's another name. I don't know if it's very realistic, but it's another name to throw in the mix too as a competent NFL starter.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. It's players like that. And the other thing is, like, all you see everywhere is trade for Davis Mills, trade for Mac Jones. Listen, I'll say this. There is not one quarterback right now that's out there that I'm willing to trade a second-round pick for. Jets don't have a third-rounder. A second-round pick, I'm not taking any. I'm not trading for any of them, dude. I'm just not going to do that. Mac Jones, who is Brissett, no way. Davis Mills, nope. Tanner McKee, nope. Not doing it, dude. Just you have all these quality assets. You have to use them to upgrade your team. And that's just, to me, it's all a reach. It's just not good value for me. Now, if you want to say that the second round pick, you want to flirt with Ty Simpson, he's not going to be available. Ty Simpson's going to be gone in the first round. So I'm not even worried about that. To me, my rookie quarterback's coming in the fourth round. I'm not trading my second round pick. My draft's going to be probably, your first two picks are probably going to be what? Pass rusher and wide receiver, right? Yeah. You're going to look at safety, linebacker. But these first four picks for me are going to be contributors this year, starters, non-quarterback positions.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you've got to round out the rest of this roster. This is not a rich quarterback class minus Mendoza. Next year is the quarterback class that you're going to be ultimately drafting, hopefully your franchise guy, and probably in a position to with the 3 first-round picks. They'll have a lot of flexibility to move up and down the board. But, yeah, this has got to be a draft where you're looking at the Nussmeyers, you're looking at a Drew Aller, somebody like that in the later rounds, as opposed to Simpson at 16. No chance you're taking Simpson at 2, but you're taking a Reese, a Bailey at 2, 16. You're taking maybe a Mekhi Lemon, a Jordan Tyson, a Tate, somebody like that to get wide receiver help. 33 is prime safety linebacker range. You upgrade there and so on and so forth, where you continue to round out the roster that way. But you just got to build out the rest of the roster in this draft. And I agree. I think Simpson's taken in the first round. I could see a world too where kind of what happened with Dart last year. I don't know if he'll actually even fall this late into the first, but a team trades back into the first to get Simpson where he's not even there on day number 2. Whatever it is, I think he's going day 1.
And now we're less than 24 hours away for the Jets figuring out what they want to do with Breece Hall, where, according to Connor Hughes, the Jets are actively negotiating, hoping to get him that $12 million a year range. They're saying, like, well, the transition tag is $11 million. You give him $12 million for 3 years, like something like that. But then to me, if I'm Breece Hall, dude, I don't take a deal from the Jets. I want to test free agency. So if that means they franchise tag him, he's getting $14 million a year, probably more than he can get anywhere else. Mm-hmm. But if you transition tag him, he's going to get the best of both worlds. He gets a chance to go test the market. And if he truly wants to stay a Jet, they can match the offer. I genuinely don't think they're going to franchise tag him. I've been saying this for weeks. It just doesn't seem like it, especially if there's a notion that he may not want to stay here. Now, he's been silent. He hasn't said a word, but his actions speak a lot louder than his words. And his actions over the last year and a half has shown that, you know what, he's kind of being fed up being a Jet. He's kind of tired of this market. Doesn't seem he's like, it's like if you get paid, $30 million guaranteed, I guess he'll be happy here. But I get this feeling, dude, transition tag, and he's going to probably be out the door.
Yeah, I think they placed the transition tag on him. And that's also kind of where the Jets, from a contract value-wise on Breece, feels like it's in that area of that 11 to like 14 range. Transition tag, I think, would be around like 11 and a half this year. And it allows a lot of these other teams to do the heavy lifting, and also not only allows Breece to test what the market is for him, but also the Jets to kind of get a feel what the market is for him and the view is for him around the league. And if they want him so badly and Breece wants to be a Jet so badly, you can match that offer and he could stay here. That's the big question, and we'll find that out if they do place the transition tag on him. I still think at most you're offering Breece, and in my scenario, I think at most you're offering him 11 to 12 to probably at most 13. 11 to 12 is where I'm at with Breece. 14, 15 beyond, he can go somewhere else. Fine. But I'm more than on board with taking him back for 33 over 3 years at 11, 34 million over 3 years, something like that. You want to throw 20 million guaranteed, whatever, however the structure of the contract works out. But base AAV 11 to 12 is where I'm at for Breece.
Yep.
I guess I'd be willing to go to 13, and that's why I think the transition tag makes sense, because it's 11 and a half. So it's kind of in that range of where it seems like the Jets have him value wise, according to all these reports and Connor Hughes, like you mentioned earlier today.
Yep. And I think it's the transition tag makes the Jets look good too. Listen, we tried to negotiate him. We tried to bring him back. We were letting him test free agency with a chance to match the offer. And all we got to say is, listen, that offer was too sweet for us. That offer was too much for us. We go in a different direction. Again, if that does happen, you look really foolish, because
the downside, you don't get anything for him.
You don't get anything in return, and you couldn't trade him the trade deadline last year, which we all kind of asked for. So really interesting to see how I for some reason, I don't see a deal getting done before tomorrow. I've been wrong a million times before. And my thing is, I just think Breece wants to see what else is out there, and he's telling the Jets that. I think the Jets can't, even with $100 million of cap space, you can't really justify 1 year, $14 million for him. He can't. Like, you know what? Yeah. It just does, especially when they probably know what he really wants. If you're negotiating, you know what contract he really wants. He'd be like, you know what? I want 4 years, $14 million. And then I'm out. You know what I mean? So to me, transition tag would probably be the most likely path here.
Yeah, I agree. I think transition tag's most likely. And I don't see the franchise tag happening. And that is the risk you run with the transition tag, is losing him for nothing. And then you really look foolish. Now, on the other hand, just going back to the Jermaine trade, it's kind of the opposite effect, because actually the patience kind of paid off for Muji in the Jermaine trade, because Devondre Swift, in my opinion, better value getting a player for player in that trade than just a draft pick, a third, fourth round pick, whatever. So patience did pay off there, but in the Breece scenario, you really look foolish, like you said, not dealing up at the deadline when you were 1-7 and then losing him for nothing in the offseason. That's our biggest fears coming true. Yeah,
100%. So the Jets will have some interesting moves to make and how they pivot. And the other thing too, I saw a lot, my friends keeps texting me, he's like, dude, they're going to tag and trade him. I'm not so sure about that. You franchise tag him. What are people going to are like? There's a very good running back free agent class. If you want a great running back, you have Jeremiah Love in the first round, who's phenomenal, probably one of my best players in the draft at this point. There's a lot of other. I was like, the Breece Hall is not the end all be all for all these other teams. If the price gets too high, they can go somewhere else and get somebody else and go running back by committee or do whatever else. Like, I've already had plans in place for when Breece leaves. Like, you can figure, get this, get that. Like, there's things you can do, but figure it out before free agency starts. Don't let this linger for 2 more weeks where you're kind of hanging it out there, and then you're like, oh, now we're screwed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, yeah, you got to make a decision. I don't see a tag and trade happening, especially depending on how this market
and sign it too.
Yeah, that too. Depending on how the rest of the league. I mean, you even saw the David Montgomery trade too with the Texans. So teams are going to find creative ways to acquire running backs, whether it be via a pretty strong free agent class. Kenneth Walker headlining that class. Obviously, we've already seen the Javonte Williams contract, which was only for $8 million per year. So that certainly, I think, hurts Breece from that standpoint, because in a lot of ways, Javonte Williams was better than Breece last season, and he gets $8 million, where Breece is probably looking more towards the 11, 13 million range. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how it plays out. And just curious on the rest of the league's vantage point on him. Where does he test the market? He gets a ton of offers with the transition tag and the Jets are blown away, or is it kind of he tests the waters and it's the same or less than the Jets are offering him, and then that's where you probably see him back?
Yep. No, it's going to be fascinating. And then going back to the whole Jermaine Johnson trade, it leaves a huge void at pass rusher, which the Jets, you can make an argument, even with Jermaine Johnson on the roster, they needed more pass rushers because they just lack a lot of depth, and you're one injury away from having Will McDonald by himself. And now you remove him, and now you're looking at the number 2 pick in the draft, saying, okay, slam dunk, Arvell Reese, Bailey, here we go. To me, it's like that could be true. But if you go out in free agency and sign a pass rusher, a decent or solid above average pass rusher, which there's quite a few of them out there, like you talked about before, you could have some flexibility in your draft class then. It's not required, like we have to go get pass rusher. Hey, maybe Sonny Styles then. If you say you go sign whoever, you bet Sonny Styles, great player. Caleb Downs, great player. If you have a solid free agent class, which gives you more flexibility in the draft, that's the way to do business. So I'm curious to see if they do that. Like, what's the guy? There's a couple guys, Muhammad from the Lions. He's out there.
Muhammad.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's Muhammad from the Lions has the connection with Glenn, which is interesting. Him, Anzalone, and Amik Robertson, all three guys that I could see the Jets adding. All three connections with Glenn. All three would improve defensively in terms of all three levels, really. Robertson, obviously, corner. We talked a lot about Anzalone. Another name, too, I had written down was Odafe Owe, I believe, from the Chargers. The Athletic, I was looking at their free agency rankings a couple weeks ago. They had him on their 100 top 150 free agents. He was like number 12, I think. So he was another name to keep an eye on from an edge rusher perspective. So there's some names out there.
He's a pure pass rusher.
Yeah.
He's not good against the run, I don't think.
And that's kind of the question too between Bailey and Reese, because Bailey's more of just kind of a pure pass rusher as well. Reese a little bit more balanced. So it's like, do you get, I guess you have to weigh the free agent market and then the draft Bailey and Reese. But yeah, I could see a world where you add a Muhammad whoever at defensive end, and then you do go Sonny Styles at 2, and you fix linebacker that way, and that opens the door too where, and two, same thing with the receiver. Like if you go Pierce or Wan'Dale Robinson, then the 16 open up the door where maybe you take another defensive player at 16. Do you then wait on a receiver? I think,
to be honest with you, I think that the Jets are going to have their chance to load up on defense and free agency and make a lot of moves there. And they may have to use the draft to get the wide receiver, because if you go through the wide receiver list, we talked about a couple of them before, I think a lot of them are going to go elsewhere. And you're going to be going down to the Jalen Naylor, Calvin Austin, guys like that, because the top guys like Dobbs and Pierce and Shaheed, everybody wants them. Juwan Jennings. I know Ian loves Juwan Jennings. I'm like, yeah, great. Unless you grossly overpay them. If you're going to be close to the Jets and any other team that's got a competent quarterback, they're probably going to go somewhere else. So I think the Jets may have to find their wide receiver solution in the draft. And then in defense, you have all these safeties out there, the ends, linebackers, a lot of good linebackers available. They may have to take that approach.
Yeah. And even too, like you get down, like you said, receiver, even the Greg Dortches of the world is another name from Arizona, actually, who another one that would be like that cheap, low cost addition. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because I do think that is a realistic path where you take is loading up defensively in free agency, and then offense, you target that more in the draft. You go Mekhi Lemon, somebody like that at 16, Denzel Boston, whoever. And it's kind of similar to the way that the Patriots, because you remember last offseason, Patriots spent a ton in free agency on defense, and then through the draft, they focused more offense. And I'm not saying that that's got to be the blueprint just because the Patriots had success and all that stuff, but I'm just using that as an example of they loaded up, spent a ton of money defensively, rebuilt that defense, turned that unit into an elite unit, and then offensively, they focused more draft capital there. So that is certainly an approach you could take, and certainly something that, especially when you look at all the Glenn connections, like the Muhammads, the Anzalones, the Amik Robertsons of the world. He talks a lot about bringing in more of his own guys. You want to see him bring more of his own guys in, especially if he's going to be calling plays that fit this scheme, that fits his vision. You didn't see a lot of that last offseason. Now it kind of opens the door for that to be the case.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, we really haven't talked about is what is the criteria for your free agent class? And to me, it's like, I don't want no 34-year-old guy. Now, let me clarify this thing before I say anything. I was an enormous Demario Davis fan. Enormous. Yeah. Demario Davis was very kind. We interviewed him like 3 or 4 times on the show. We went to his charity events. He is a tremendous person, tremendous leader, tremendous player. He's not the kind of player the Jets should sign. We need to get young and get guys going into the prime of their career. Like you want guys 24, 25, 26, a young group that can grow all together and go that way. Anybody late 30s, that makes absolutely no sense to me. Not being disrespectful to Demario Davis, but that's just not what I'm looking for right now. Like, and then so now it's like if you want to spend something like what's a safety position, was it Nick Cross from the Colts, 24 years old, heading into the peak of his career, perfect. If you spend money on a guy like that, the goal is to have him good 5 years here. Like you don't want like 1 year band-aids, 2 year band-aids. You got to find building blocks now. Get a young nucleus that can grow together, new leadership, and you kind of move along as a unit and get better every year. That's how you truly develop your organization. No more band-aids. They tried that last year to blow up in their face. Band-aids that were bad last year for the most part. Yeah. So now it's like young, fast, smart leaders, love the game of football. Like you listen to John Harbaugh talk on WFAN. He's all about, I want guys that love football. They live and die with football. They want to be here. They want to train. They want to work harder. Those are the kind of guys that change your culture, and that's what the Jets need. They've got to find those young guys and then bring them in, overpay them, do whatever it is, but you need a lot of them on both sides of the football.
Yeah. Another name that I like too from a safety standpoint is Cameron Curl. Talk about some of the younger options. He coming over from the Rams. Yep. He's just I think he'll be around 20. I think he'll be 27 when week 1 rolls around. But he's another name that's another one of them younger safeties that could be a long-term fit. Because you look at some of the other safeties on the market, I've seen some Kevin Byard mentions. I've even seen some Jimmy Ward stuff. Like Jimmy Ward, I think, is like 34 now. You're talking your older, aging safeties there. Same thing goes for linebackers, some of the linebackers on the market. Nahshon Wright's another one from the Bears from a cornerback standpoint that the Jets could look into. I believe he was 20. I think he's 27 now. He'll be 28, I believe, early next season. I think he was September birthday. So another name that could be on their radar from a cornerback standpoint. Had a very good season last year with Chicago and did a very good job of turning the football over, which the Bears forced a lot of turnovers, forced a lot of interceptions. So that's something that the Jets obviously need to do more of. But yeah, Cameron Curl's another name. Wright's a name. There's definitely some
Kobe Bryant
younger names.
Seahawks.
Yeah, there's definitely some of those younger names out there from that could be fits for multiple years with this team.
What's up, K-Dude? K-Dude, you don't have to give us super chats, dude. I bring up all your comments, man, but we definitely appreciate it. When the season started, 2026 was projected to have 4 to 5 first-round quarterbacks. After it, there's 1 to 2. 2 is debatable. 2027 could be very similar. Does that worry you and make you a Ty Simpson at 16 or 33 potentially? This is a good question, and it's a funny you say this because I just had this argument 2 days ago with somebody, and everybody's like, "Oh, 2027 is a year of the quarterback. This is it. There's so many guys. They've got to play a full season. Injuries happen, drop-off happens. So many things happen that are out of your control where just look at this year going into the season, what we thought the quarterbacks were going to be and where they ended up. Guys that were like slam dunk first-round picks, we're talking about day 2, day 3 at best. So the question is, with Ty Simpson, how do you handle it? I will tell you this. I'm a Ty Simpson fan. I like him. I don't like him at 2. I don't like him at 16. But if you trade from 33 and get him, I wouldn't hate it, dude. I wouldn't. But with this caveat, knowing that he's not playing this year, he's literally sitting the entire year behind Brissett and Dalton and whoever else. He's not playing. He's literally just learning the entire year, putting on size, getting comfortable, learning the offense, getting everything like that, and just stash him away. Will the Jets be able to do that if they start losing games and they feel the pressure? I don't know, but to me, I'm not taking him at 16 or before. But if you trade up like you talked about the Jackson Dart thing, late first round, why not? Yeah,
and I think too with the 16, that's kind of a sign from this regime that like you're planting your flag with Ty Simpson. You're like, if he doesn't pan out, that could be the end of this regime. Like that, if you get him at 33 or trade back into the first, it's not as much of we feel like he's our guy, he's our future. You're kind of putting your stake into the Ty Simpson stock if you take him at 16 from a Glenn and Muji perspective. The combine certainly helped this stock, and now you hear a lot about that he was sick during the end of the season with Bama, put on more weight. So that is certainly something that helps his stock now with some of the struggles where early in the season when he was playing and he was healthy, he was playing well. Yeah, I mean, the 2026, all we heard for a year was 2026, right? Last year, same thing. Oh, Cam Moore, that's it. 2026 is the year. Kate Klubnik, Garrett Nussmeier, Drew Aller, all these guys are going to be available at the top of the class. Lenore Sellers, he's another name. He didn't even declare. Another name that all we heard was all of these guys, and now it's just Fernando Mendoza. And then you get your Trinidad Chambliss of the world, too, who now he's not coming back, but you always get every year that one quarterback that kind of comes out of the middle of nowhere. I mean, I don't remember everybody talking about Fernando Mendoza this time last year as a 2026 option. So just from the 2027 draft class perspective, there's going to be names that are going to fall off. There's going to be names that are going to live up to potential. Your Julian Sayans, your Arch Mannings. And then there's going to be names too that surprise. Yeah, Sellers. And there's going to be 2 names that come out of the middle of nowhere, kind of like Mendoza. We'll see what Chambliss does. I know CJ Carr, big Notre Dame guy, so he's a name to
sign me up
on.
right now, dude.
CJ Carr in a Jet uniform.
I'm already trying to find ways to get Jeremiah Love on this
Jeremiah
team.
Love.
So if Breece Hall goes, dude, my campaign is starting. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
They could get the first half of the Notre Dame connection, draft Love this year, and then go CJ Carr next year.
I'd be so happy. So now the thing is, I saw this comment I wanted to react to. Where the hell is it? Let's see. Hold on 1 second. It was something about.
It's always funny because I always see people react to Dante Moore, Trinidad Chambliss. Oh, they didn't want to go to the Jets, and all I could say is that if you were scared to, if you weren't there when we were 3-14 this year, get ready when we're 3-14 next year.
But the comment was basically the Jets can't afford to only win 3 games with a bum quarterback. I think at this point they're trying to find a guy that can hold the fort and prove that they know how to coach and manage a team and just be competitive. I think if they put a premium on the defense, which are going to have to be just fill out the roster, play good defense, play special teams, run the football, don't turn it over as a quarterback, just hold on to the ball and complete the basic passes, they can win 6 games. And that's their goal. Just do enough to show that, listen, we know what we're doing here. Last year was a disaster. We cleaned it up. We got better coaches. We got better players. Glenn's calling plays. Frank Reich on offense. Now we can say, all right, this is our true building block year. This year, last year was a mistake. I think if they do that, they'll come back next year. Anything less than that, if we see any glimpses of last year, they'll be gone.
Yeah, especially with the coaching staff turnover 100%. In terms of all the changes you make, and now, we got the right staff now. You bring in a head coach, the offense that Glenn wanted, that Glenn's been targeting. No, I mean, you've got to be at least a 6-win team, and 6 wins. Not all 6-win seasons are built the same. Like, you've got to show 6 wins of progress. It can't be 2-12 and then you win, or no, that doesn't add up. You can't be like 2-9. And at the end of the season, muster up, go 4-1 over your last 5 and just pick up a bunch of garbage wins. Yeah, blow the tank in December. Yep. Like, it's got to be close games. You're in it. There's an actual identity to the team. There's actually a way that they're playing. And the bar's low. I mean, 6 wins it's rough to talk about. Yeah, we know bad football when you see it. We also know a team that's very well coached, disciplined, fighting, and they're just losing because of lack of talent. That's like our requirements last year were just be competitive. Just know what you're doing. Act like you're a good football team. And as the season plays out, get better. We saw the exact opposite of that. So now this year, second chance for Aaron Glenn. No idea why, whatever. But now it's like, okay, listen, you had your chance of all your excuses were last year. This year, you've got to come out week 1, play quality football. Quality football the entire year. Yes, you'll have your blowouts and this and that, but you've got to be week in, week out. Like, all right, you know what? We got something here. We can buy into this. The players are buying in. You're actually here's an idea. You're going to see players actually getting better. How about that? That'd be nice to see, especially these young guys. Yeah, and Glenn himself. Let's see in-game management get better. How about that? Like, let's see this team have a legitimate advantage in some of these games schematically. The little things. So we're not asking for much here. We always say, right? All we're asking for is just competent football and improvement too. That's another thing. From this time last year, or last season, I should say, they went in the opposite direction. It was week 1 they peaked. Then the Xavier Gibson fumble happened and everything went out the window. That's another thing too. Can we handle adversity? Can we make a mistake and not let it destroy our season, not let it destroy the game? So there's a lot of things you need to see leaders emerge. Like, to the point here, Sherwood can't get worse, right? Well, he was your team captain. You've got to see a leader. You've got to see just a whole different mindset on defense. No quitting. You want to see intensity. You want to see tenacity. You want to see sideline to sideline effort. Anzalone probably bring a lot of that characteristic with you, but that's all going to change. If you see that, I think we'll all be a lot easier on this team. Like, all right, listen, we see the vision now in defense. Things are turning a little bit, especially with Glenn calling plays on defense. Like, if you see legitimate progress with this defense, you got to give Glenn credit, and that's a big feather in Glenn's cap for him saving his job, is if they're able to turn this defense around under his watch, as he claims he's got the superpowers. But all jokes aside, in all seriousness, though, like, Jamie and Sherwood got worse under Aaron Glenn. Will McDonald, all these guys got worse under this staff last year. Glenn's got to prove, okay, I'm going to run my defense. I'm going to call my plays. Those guys have got to play better. Those guys have got to play to their standard, and they've got to be legitimate difference makers.
Yep, and this is the excellent point. Sonny Styles is a leader. Caleb Downs, leader. Jeremiah Love, leader. But that's what you need to add to this team. You need that in terms of either free agency or draft. You've got to find guys that just change the mindset of this locker room where, like, losing is no longer acceptable. Losing is no longer being justified. Figure it out. And the coach staff's got to back it up, too, with the whole accountability thing, which they didn't do last year.
No.
So, like, again, like, to me, while this year is not going to be a year we're going to talk about, like, 12 wins, playoffs, we expect a lot of this team. We do. I am not giving this team a pass by no means, especially as coaching staff. This is your second staff, second year bringing your own players.
Yeah,
it's got to be a lot more competitive.
The coaching staff was a disgrace. They won 3 games last year. They're lucky that this owner's incompetent enough to keep them around for another year. 31 other teams had a choice to fire Glenn. They all would have fired him. So they're lucky they're getting another chance, and they're getting another chance after failing as badly as they did, handing Fields $30 million guaranteed, to go and find another quarterback. Now, no, they're not trying to find the future quarterback, but you've got to find somebody better than Fields. Like, it's not hard. It shouldn't be hard to find an upgrade over what Justin Fields provided for this team, for what Brady Cook provided for this team. And you get another chance now through free agency to do that. Say what you want about the options, but I'd take Andy Dalton. I'd take Marcus Mariota. I'd take any of those guys over what we saw last year at Justin Fields.
So now here's the question. Unless the Jets make a trade prior to free agency starting, which they may go get Jacoby Brissett or something with that, which I would be completely cool with.
100%.
I almost feel a little better. Like, all right, because the reason
I'm
why
really on board with Brissett being an option. I like Brissett. I know some people are iffy on him. I like him, but
the thing is, and here's the thing: he's got connections to Reich, played well last year, excellent leader, good mentor, good team guy. If you do it before free agency starts, guess what you have? You have something to tell the wide receiver that you're trying to recruit here too, because right now you're going to free agency. Say you call Wan'Dale Robinson, you call Romeo Doubs. Okay, we want to offer you 3 years, $17 million a year. Okay, who's my quarterback? Well, we think it's going to be no. Who's my quarterback? Because while I'm getting paid, I want my numbers and I want to win. If I'm not going to get either one of those, I'm going to go somewhere else where I'm going to make equal money. If you have somebody in the fold already, at least have some kind of vision. All right, well, listen, we have Brissett. We're probably going to sign Dalton too, or Mariota, whoever else, and we're going to draft the kid. But you got to have some kind of vision to sell your free agent class to show that, hey, we know what we're doing and we have a plan in place. So if you trade in advance, it kind of helps a little bit. But then the thing is, who's it going to be? Because I think a lot of these guys, I think Brissett could be available. I'm not sure the other guys are going to be available, like the whole Mac Jones, Davis Mills. I don't think they're going to be available.
No, I agree. I don't think they're going to be available. I don't specifically Mac Jones. I think he's probably the least likely of all of them to
paid too.
Yeah, to get paid and become available. I just don't see it happening. Nor do I see Mac Jones having a ton of success here. I could just see that bombing out personally. I think a lot of that has to do with Shanahan and that offense. And I'm not going to sit here and say Mac Jones under Frank Reich's going to be the same thing as working under Kyle Shanahan. So I don't think that happens. But yeah, it's a good point. It's a good question to bring up about making a trade now and then having at least one veteran option, one veteran piece. That's kind of what the Giants did. What the Giants did, they signed both Russ and Brissett.
They signed,
right?
they signed Jameis Winston first, then got Russ.
Yes, Jameson and added Russ.
I'd trade for him, dude. I'd make the Giants an offer. Listen, dude, I know that he's Jackson Dart's best friend. We're giving Jameis Winston a chance to start.
In a heartbeat.
I would do that in a second.
It's at least be entertaining. I'd take Jameis in a heartbeat. 100%. And if we're being honest, they should have went after Jameis last year, but whatever. They wanted to go Fields. Jameis went across town, but I would still call the Giants. I'd at least get a no from the Giants on Jameis. Well, at least let them tell you no. I'd take Jameis in a heartbeat.
All right, so say we don't make a trade. What are you giving up for Brissett? 4th round pick.
Yeah, probably around that.
That's what I'll do.
Day 3 pick.
Yep. So now, say we don't trade for Brissett, and now we're 1 week. Because this time next week, we're already going to have a quarterback. We're going to have something done.
Yeah, that's scary, isn't it?
Next Monday's show is going to be completely off the rails. I already know it's going to be off the rails. I'm looking forward to it. But who is your first phone call in free agency? Like, what is the first move you make at midnight to say, this is who I want to get?
I mean, I think if I had to make a prediction, I still go back to it being probably Mariota out of all the names, right? Because Kirk Cousins isn't available, or
He's going to be
whatever.
available. He's not
He
going to
doesn't
be
want to.
available.
Yeah, whether he doesn't want to come here or whatever. It'd probably be Mariota. Out of the names that we listed, I mean, because McKee's via trade, Dalton via trade,
Derek
Brissett
Carr.
via trade, Carr, yeah, same thing. You throw Trubisky, you want to throw Trubisky on there. How likely do you think it is Tyrod's back? Because I feel like he's kind of one of the he's kind of like the silent X factor in all this. Like I could see a world where sneakily he's back and we only end up actually signing one new veteran, if you will. I could see a world where they kind of already have a handshake agreement a little bit with Tyrod, and he's the move, he's back, and then you go and make another move.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I think the way the Jets handled it would be weird too, because I think they said if they could have got a deal done with him, it could have saved some dead cap space. They could have kept Tyrod in advance anyway. But let's see.
I'd say Mariota though, probably. I still have an odd suspicion it's going to be Mariota.
Yep.
And I don't know if it's because there's not much smoke around that, and that's kind of how this regime has played it out, where they kind of work in silence, and all this other smoke screens kind of to let them. I don't know. I could see it being Mariota, but
yeah, and that's the thing too. It's like that's why the other good point. Bridgewater's a good one too. I didn't even think about him. So one thing is like the Jets have pretty much blindsided us for every move they made over the last year with this new regime. So to think that all their plans are getting leaked out right now and we know what they're going to do is kind of funny because we don't know. You didn't see any reports about Jermaine Johnson. We didn't see anything about the trades last year with Sauce and Quinnen, and Fields caught us all by surprise. So you're pretty sure the Jets have locked it down with their intention of not being revealed to anybody. Yeah. The first phone call you make is really interesting. Like they're saying there could be a market for Alex Anzalone too. Like Jets aren't a slam dunk for him either. Yeah.
So you mean first call you make for quarterback or just in general?
First first phone call at midnight. Who's the first?
Oh, just in general. I think first move is going to be Alex Anzalone. I think he will be the first move the Jets make. I've said that for a couple months now, or a couple weeks, I should say. I think he is the first move. And it's probably going to be a bit of an overpay. I think he's the first free agency move they make. So I would go him. Yeah, that he is the first call, or the first call I would make, or first call I think they make. It'll be Alex Anzalone.
To me, it reminds me of how like when Rex got Bart Scott, like that was the first one they went after. Be a much less contract, but kind of the same thing too, where they want to get the player, like the guy in place that could be your recruiter on defense. Like, listen, I'm here now. He's your spokesperson on defense to help lure guys in.
Yeah, that's what I think they do. There's too many obvious connections with Glenn and all that to be here. And then I really like Cameron Curl. You target safeties at that point.
Yep.
And then you obviously quarterbacks. I mean,
receiver. I mean, you need receiving help. I just don't know how the Jets are going to get it. I don't think they're going to get the top 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's probably going to be kind of that second wave where it's I don't even know if Juwan Jennings is going to come here. I don't know if they're going to pay that price.
I would.
Could be Juwan. It could go after Juwan Jennings, but I don't think like Wan'Dale Robinson's coming here. I think Alec Pierce probably the tag. I don't see that happening.
Well, the thing is, like
Michael Pittman's an interesting name. That's an interesting name from a trade standpoint, but I don't know. I mean, he's got the connection with Reich. He's a big body receiver. We kind of forget about him as the other Colts receiver. Everyone talks about Alec Pierce. He could kind of be the other name that surprises some people.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude, based on how this is, you're getting your receiver help in the draft. I just don't see how it's going to work unless they completely surprise us with a trade or something like that. But I don't
bring back Josh Reynolds. But yeah, you're looking at probably the second wave of free agent wide receivers. And then adding through the draft at 16 most likely. So another name I would keep an eye on too from a defense line perspective would be DJ Reader from Detroit too. He has got the connection, or is in Detroit now. I'm just very curious what the whole Harrison Phillips thing is going to play out too, because they could, I think, save money by.
Yeah, got him, dude.
But I don't think they will.
You can't.
But I think you're probably set with your interior, so you're probably more looking at the edge.
Harrison Phillips is one of the guys you want to build with, man. He's your culture leader guy, like that tough nose, hard nose, refuse to lose. Like that's the kind of guy you want. You need more of him. I wouldn't remove him at all.
No, I agree. I'd hold on to him too.
Listen, I'd take back John Franklin Myers too.
Oh, I'd take JFM back in a heartbeat.
No problem bringing him back. He probably doesn't want to come back. He wants to win, but
yeah, I don't think they're going to pay his price. His market, I forget.
Way up.
I was reading something earlier today. His market value is like he's actually expected to make a little bit more than I originally thought. I think a little bit more than most think. I don't see him coming back, but JFM would be. They shouldn't. He should have never. That's a shame that he's gone in the first place.
Yeah, no, there are so many things. It's just so many different ways this can go. Starts a quarterback. You need wide receiver help. You can get another tight end. That wouldn't hurt. Then you have the whole you may need a guard, dude, because AVT, according to some, could get paid where people are saying, oh, give him a prove-it deal or incentive-laden deal. And they're saying people around the NFL value him just due to his versatility. He's going to get highly paid for a couple-year deal. Okay, if he leaves, John Simpson's a free agent. You may have to go out and find a guard, too. And I'm not sure you want to draft a guard. You're probably going to sign one. Yeah.
I think if anything, you'll take an interior offensive lineman late, but you're not drafting him to be a starter. The offensive line in general is kind of an interesting spot because, and then you look at Tippmann too, who could be looking at an extension. That's another thing you have to put into play. What's next for ABT, John Simpson, all that. You look at the position, it was one of the only strengths last season, and finally you got 5 guys playing all the time. But yeah, the John Simpson question is big. I think he's probably I could see him back 2-year deal with Simpson, 2 years, 14 range over 2. And then AVT, like how much are they willing to give AVT? How much of that is incentives? I think it will be an incentive laden contract because
if other teams are going to pay him more guaranteed money, big time money,
he's probably gone.
Yeah,
and I'm fine with him gone at that point because you can't risk that.
We discussed this earlier. If I tag Breece's transition tag, I'm not doing anything more than that. This is a really good question. I actually would do this because I think he's phenomenal. Sadiq did tight end from Oregon is a beast, man. I understand we have a Mason Taylor, the athlete and the player that this kid is. He is an absolute savage. I would take him in a heartbeat. He's really good.
No, he's a beast. Very good season last year. Athletic freak.
Yep. Big physical. He could run.
Yeah, I think he's like 6'3", 240, 245. Yeah, he's a monster. It's an intriguing option as another pass catcher. I still think they probably go receiver at 16, but anything's to play. You never know.
To me, it's like you want to collect as much talent as humanly possible. So while you say, oh, we can't go Caleb Downs at 2 because of position, to me, what Sadiq brings to the table, like I can find ways to use him in this offense. Like if Frank Wright can't do that, he shouldn't be your coordinator. Now, this is an interesting one here because Ian's texted me about this before. How do you feel about Minkah Fitzpatrick with the Dolphins? He's in the last year of his deal, played really well. You have Brian Duker, Slowick. They have familiarity with him. The thing is, it's 2 things. It's like, all right, you're going to trade for him. What are you giving up to get him? Secondly is, if he's in the last year of his deal, you probably got to give him a new deal, too. I don't think you could trade for him. Say, okay, just play out your contract, and we'll see what happens next year. I think you probably got to add some money to his deal, no?
Yeah. I don't know if he's going to come here and just play off the final year of the deal. Minkah Fitzpatrick's a very interesting name, though, because he's got the connection with Duker, as stated in that comment. He's got a history of, I think he's got 21 interceptions throughout his career. He's got a history of forcing turnovers. Last couple of years, they haven't come as often, but you talk about more of a ball hawk type of safety. He's been able to bring that a couple of years during his career in Pittsburgh specifically, where he was near the top of the league. Jets obviously need more of that. I actually don't hate the idea of Minkah Fitzpatrick. I still think he's got a decent amount left in the tank. Can you get him for is it a 4th? Is that enough?
To me, it's like, it's tough. I mean, and it's funny how we're all talking about Duker, like, oh, he was a Duker last year. He's all of a sudden this innovative defensive genius.
Yeah. Well, they're just gonna load up on the former Dolphins and the former Lions at this rate.
Yeah, so a lot of interesting things.
Yeah, not to cut you off, but some other names too from a defensive end perspective. Joseph Ossie from Cincinnati is another name. Kwity Paye actually from Indy is another name.
Yep.
This is a very solid defensive end class.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes you think, do you address the end free agent wise and then opens up the door for something else at number 2?
Sonny Styles, my friend.
Yes. Little Caleb Downs safety action at number 2.
I can make a case for both of them, to be honest with you. You could, if
they're
you find a
both
way
studs.
if you find a way to buff up pass rusher during free agency, you can that flexibility make this really interesting. And then you can say, hey, will somebody want to trade up then? If the Jets have flexibility, hey, we know what? The second pick is available. If somebody wants Arvell Reese or they want whoever. It would be interesting then.
And it's big X factor in all this is Will McDonald too, because you're looking at him as needing a bounce back year. And they obviously look like they're going to pick up the 5th-year option on him, but their belief in Will McDonald and their hope in Will McDonald playing well in this system and having a bounce back year also plays a role into not only what they do in free agency, but number 2, let's say they make a move in free agency for one of the edge rushers that we've listed.
Yep.
They could still go and add a David Bailey and Arvell Reese, and then potentially that kind of Will McDonald potentially in the near future here kind of takes a little bit of a back seat. So,
and the question is, would you be upset with Downs at 2? I actually wanted Downs at 2 before the trade for Jermaine Johnson. Now it's like, get rid of Jermaine Johnson. Now it's like there's a huge hole where it could be addressed much easier. But if you go pass rusher in free agency, get a prominent guy there, all right, maybe there's some flexibility. I'd probably take Styles over Downs, but I like them both a lot, dude. I really do. And they're difference makers. They're legit culture changers. They're impact players for the foreseeable future for your team.
And I think people too, a lot of people cringe at the idea of taking a safety at 2, but Caleb Downs, a lot of people got to realize he's more than just a safety. Like he's like a Swiss Army knife in the secondary. He could play linebacker, play the box, highly versatile. This is a guy that like can do a little bit of everything.
Do it well.
So and do it really well. So I look at Downs as more than just a safety. I look at him as he could play linebacker, he could play safety, good in coverage, good tackler. He does just about everything really well. He's more than just, you're reaching on a safety at number 2. He's just a threat. And we talked about this during last season. Like the Jets didn't have that thumper. They didn't have that like elite player. I'm not saying Caleb Downs would be that elite player, but he could do just about anything. And you talk like he flies around. He's like a player that can just, if he lives up to potential and did what he did at Ohio State, he's the type of player that can become kind of the face of this defense, the big piece of this defense, that thumper on this defense. That comment's spot on too. Could play corner, slot outside, linebacker, free safety, all that stuff in the box, all those different things. So he could be kind of that like missing piece, big missing piece of this defense. Downs, he's a stud. He's more than just a safety. People cringe at taking a safety too. You got to peel back the cover on Downs a little bit more. He's much more than just, taking a safety at 2. He's a beast.
Yeah, not the whole Sonny Styles thing, man. I'm telling you, I'm not going to let that one go for a while there. All right, so we'll do. Let's see. I knew the trade for Jared Stidham. I'm not sure I want to do that. That's kind of, I know because the Muji ties with Broncos. I'm out on that one though.
Yeah, the Muji connection was interesting. I don't see that happening, and I think Denver kind of likes him over there, at least from it seems like it, but maybe not. I don't know. I don't think Stidham's happening.
Me neither.
But they do have the Muji connection. Not that they brought in a plethora of Denver Broncos last year either.
Yep. Yeah, I wouldn't mind Saleh taking Sherwood off our hands. By no means. Take him next, man.
Take them all.
6th round pick. I'm fine with that. Don't care. Just get him out of here.
Yeah.
What's up, man? How you doing? Oh, you're eating. What are you eating?
Sorry, peanut butter.
Oh, nice.
I was a little hungry. Didn't realize you're putting me on. Usually don't put me on first.
No, we're changing it up here a little bit. How you doing, man?
Yeah, doing pretty good. I didn't make last week. I actually fell asleep like at 7 o'clock at night and missed this. So raring to come back. So looking at all this, one of the things, it's all these rumors and stuff is a load of bullshit. I mean, the Murray line, this quarterback, the Jets talked to Simpson at the combine. Well, they probably talked to every quarterback there. I mean, this is not exactly news. These guys are desperate to try to generate some kind of a crap.
Yep.
I mean, the way I'm looking at, look, I generally am not a fan of let's build the defense, build the defense, build the defense. I had too many years of that with Bowles and the rest of them where they didn't care about the offense. But in this case, they've got to, because obviously Glenn is one of the ways he's going to keep his job is if he builds a defense and it's good, he's got a selling point. But the second part is I don't care what quarterback we get. If the defense is no good, it doesn't matter who you get. You might as well have Brady Cook out there because you're not going to, you're not going to win with a crappy defense. And none of these quarterbacks out here, nobody you're going to get is going to be some guy that can put up 40 points a game.
Nope.
They're just, you're not getting anybody like that, right? I like somebody had a really good comment. I'm trying to remember who it was. It might have been Ian. He had a great argument. He says, bring in some of these cheap guys, right? Have a competition. See who's the starter, who's the backup. You don't owe them anything. The other guys, you can cut them. You don't care. They're off. And do it that way. Because again, there is nobody out there that sets my heart on fire. I mean, they talk about McKee. They talk about Davis Mills. They've looked decent. Davis Mills has looked okay filling in for Stroud. Yeah. But again, they were in a backup role. And chances are the offensive guys there were tailoring the game to them.
Well, but also too, those teams, they're great insurance policies. CJ Stroud was horrific last year, and Davis Mills bailed him out. You have questions going into the season about CJ Stroud. I'm not letting go of my insurance policy because I will.
That's the argument about Mac Jones. I mean,
basically, I wouldn't trade him.
If San Francisco has half a brain, they won't trade him. They need a backup. Purdy is fragile. He's already proven he gets hurt a lot. You can't. So they need somebody that was good. Jones came in. He filled in decently. They're not going to trade him.
Nope.
Even if you offered them a big, which you'd be an idiot to do. If the Jets started offering like a bunch of really high-level round picks, they'd be crazy. Because
it's twofold. You got to offer, say, compensation, which say we don't have a third-round pick. That sucks. So just say in theory, second-round pick. I hate that. Plus, you got to pay Mac Jones for more than 1 year. You got to pay him for what? 3 years, $20-something million a year. That's like
he's going to want to extend. He's on his last year. He was a 2-year deal with San Francisco. So if you think Jones is going to be good, which again is a risk because you don't know. He's coming into a team that's still forming. The offense is still forming.
Yep.
Yeah, and you don't know. He could have just been a product of Shanahan. The same way I would not touch Malik Willis. I'm not a big fan of his anyhow for a lot of reasons. But I think that with Willis, I don't think he's a fit anyhow, but he's going to be expensive. He's going to come out. He's going to want $30 million. He's going to want $30 million a year or whatever. Probably $70 million guaranteed over 3 years. It's a lot, and you're taking the same risk you did with Fields. You're hoping that the guy's a starting quarterback. Starting.
But the other thing too is that they all come with risk. Like Tanner McKee comes with a lot of risk too because you're giving up draft compensation for a guy that hasn't done shit in the NFL. The only thing is he's cheap as hell, which is great. But like the day you get Tanner McKee, I go out and get Marcus Mariota too. And like Bubs, like say, listen, true quarterback competition. We trade you for your potential. We're not handing you the job. 2 guys come in, 1 guy comes out. It's the best person, and that's it. Yeah. Like there should be no appointed starting quarterback at that point. Like because right, Bubs? Like what you can't. Yeah. That's the.
No, yeah, it's got to be a competition. You can't hand McKee the starting job in that situation or any of these other younger quarterbacks that haven't shown you a ton. You can't just hand him it right away. It's got to be a legitimate competition. I'm right there with you, and I think that was one of the big issues last year with Fields was everybody in the roster was, as Glenn put it, written in pencil except Fields. He handed him everything. They handed him everything, 10, 30, or 20 million guaranteed. They gave him the starting job. When in reality, probably Tyrod wins the job and camp.
But he got hurt.
Yeah.
But Tyrod got hurt the entire preseason.
Yeah. And of course the regular season too. So
yeah, I mean, ideally if Tyrod, if he wasn't getting hurt, I'd love to have him around as a backup or something because he'd also be a great mentor. If we do draft a young quarterback somewhere deep, he's a pretty good mentor. On top of it, but he gets hurt too much. That's the only reason I don't want him. You can't have it. But with the quarterback stuff, like I said, there's really no good options. And people saying, oh, well, just wait for the pro days, wait for the combine. I looked at the combine. I didn't look that much in detail. I'm not a guy like Ian. I don't live and breathe this stuff. But looking at the combine, I mean, he's amazing. He really is. I don't forget it. I don't even know names and stuff. But watching it and reading about it and stuff like that, it just struck me that it didn't really change all that much.
Nope.
I mean, some guys, that guy from Ohio State, the linebacker from Ohio State kind of stood out because he's a beast. He's a physical freak. I mean, I don't believe him. He may be a great player and stuff. And there's going to be a lot of choices for the Jets. So if they go after defense, they're going to be in good shape. I know there's arguments about Bain has 2 small arms and this guy.
Yep.
you know what? They're going to pick up good players. And it's going to be one of these things. It's going to be almost an automatic because these guys are that good. There's a reason why they're up there. There's really no doubt.
But the only thing with Muji is it's great to hit on your first round picks, your second round picks. You can't blow the rest of the draft like they did last year.
Well, that's going to be the thing. This has been a problem. People thought, well, Douglas did. No, he didn't. The deep rounds have been a problem. And I'm not talking seventh round. Seventh round, you throw a pair of dice and you hope. It's like a UDFA. There's really not much difference.
But the fourth and fifth round, you can't take projects.
Even third round, the Jets have had problems in the past. I mean, the point is they've got to have players. They've got to hit there because even if it's, put it this way, in the fourth and fifth round, even if it's depth on the O-line, they need it. But the Jets really need it. You can't have an O-line. They got lucky last year. The guys played most of the games. You don't know if that's going to happen. And if they decide to hold on to AVT, which I am personally, I'd rather they not keep him. If they can get him for a year deal, fine. But I think he gets hurt too much. And knowing the way the bodies are, he's going to get hurt again. And it's not, he's a great player. I love him. He's flexible. He can play anywhere, but he's just, he's just not there. And I think that, so they're going to need depth anyhow. Even if he's not playing, they're going to need depth.
Yep.
So you need to do that in deeper rounds. I agree with you. It's going to be interesting to see how they play free agent. What are they looking at?
What's your first phone call? Who's your first phone call to, like midnight next Monday?
At this point, I don't even know because I don't know if it would be a QB. People say it should be a QB. I don't think so. Honestly, screw Kirk Cousins. He's not coming here and he's just going to dick you around. He's not worth it.
Nope.
Especially where he is in his career. Honestly, I don't even know. I bet probably the first person is going to be Anzalone. Not that I would go for him, but that's who they'll probably go for.
Yep.
I'm not even sure. I'm looking at the field out there. They've so many needs. It's very hard to tell. If I could, if there's a free agent safety out there that's worth something, I'd go for it. He'd be one of the first guys I'm talking to because they need depth in the secondary.
They need the thing is they need legit starters. They're not getting backup and depth. They need contributors.
Yeah, it can't be some guy that he's a culture fit and we got him for a $5 million contract. No, you need somebody who's good. And I don't know what's out there with safety. I haven't really looked that closely. But if there's anybody good, give them what they want.
this may be Javid's best post ever. First call is to Jesus because
I'll get off to Jesus. You should get Javid on. He's much better. He's much funnier than I am tonight.
That would be
the whole thing and was waiting to see what happens. Now I'm hearing, just wait for the pro days. You're going to see. It's like, guys, you know what? The combine, there's things you see there, right? You see physical strength. You see a lot of things. You look at the pro days and I'm like, okay, the guy can throw the ball 60 yards, but does that mean he can do it in game condition? No. It's a fictional nonsense.
They're throwing in t-shirts and shorts in air. It doesn't.
And you know what? Yeah, a good quarterback can do that. I mean, if he doesn't have an arm, he can't throw it 60 yards. But you know what? I mean, I often wondered, it would never happen. It'd be wonderful to see something where they have like a test against these guys where they put them up against like NFL defense and see what they do. Not do it like in training camp where you don't tackle or anything. You redshirt them, but you have them up. You have a selected that they can use to judge against.
You see it in training camp. When you go to training camp, there's some days where like a young quarterback lights up. You're like, who the hell is this kid? The minute the preseason lights come on, he plays terribly. All right.
Yeah, no, I know. It's not, but it's still better than, he's playing with his favorite receiver and he's running around cones. He's got the receiver doing, cut routes and stuff like that. It's just, it doesn't mean anything. It'll show you arm strength. It'll show you a certain amount of accuracy. But even then, accuracy under those conditions doesn't mean much.
Nope.
So it's kind of like whatever. I mean, this year, and the way, if I was approaching it, no one would ever hire me as a GM, and thank God, because it would be worse than anything we ever had. I am not going to claim I don't have the skill set. But one thing I would look at is, this is a transition year. This is really the transition year. This is not, last year was supposed to be, this one is. This is the year when we've got to see improvements. We've got to see the defense get better. It doesn't have to necessarily, it may not be top 10, but at least good enough that it keeps them in games. You need an offense good enough. It's not going to be a high-powered offense where you can run the ball, where you can still throw the ball and make it interesting. If you've got that and it looks better at the end of the year than the beginning, if young guys come along, you've done it. And
So
hopefully,
so you're gonna do it with Breece? What are you doing with Breece Hall? Because we have till tomorrow to tag him.
honestly, people keep hearing, I hear, well, you should do a transition tag. Well, somebody else want him. Some people say yes, some people no. If you transition tag him, his salary would be low enough. I could see a team like Kansas City going for him because they need a running back, right? So, and Breece is good enough. People are saying he's good enough. He's not what he was a couple of years ago, but you put him on a team that highlights him, the guy can catch. Mahomes would go, and there's a lot of quarterbacks, by the way, that would go apeshit to have a back they can throw to. I can name a number of teams with good quarterbacks. San Diego.
If he's that good, then why don't you just franchise tag him?
Because you know what? First of all, the guy, I don't think he wants to be here, and I don't blame him. And there's such a pattern, unless Frank Reich goes to him, because I'm sure Aaron Glenn talked to Hall and said, we really want you around. We really think you're going to whatever. Does Hall believe him? I don't think so, because last year you can say, I don't care. You can mention the quarterbacks. You can say it was because we had X, Y, Z and whatever out there. They didn't throw to him.
Nope.
He got his 1,000 yards.
He did
running, and he wants to win. You know what? Players, I don't care how much you pay them. They still want to win.
Yep. So now the argument we had last week was that, I'll ask you, Bubs, do you think, I kind of agree. I think he kind of wants to change the scenery. If you tag him and say he signs the tag for 1 year, $14 million, do you think you get the best of Breece Hall this year, or is he going to be kind of that like disgruntled, unhappy guy that's still trying to find his way out?
Yeah, I think he wants the long-term deal. Now, $14 million this year, like, would he have gotten that with any of these other contracts? Like, there is that possibility where the value is just under, well, if they transition tagged him, or he might be making more under with the franchise tag per year than if he just signs a regular deal, depending on what he gets. But yeah, I know, I think he wants a long-term deal. I don't think that's the best case scenario for both sides. I don't think that's the best case scenario for Breece or the Jets. I think you're better off. To me, he wants the money. He wants a long-term deal. I'm kind of in the boat of, if you give him the money, he's content here, but the franchise tag is not that.
So you think if the Jets give him 3 years, $40 million, he's happy to trade deadline next year. He's not talking about getting traded. He's going to be happy staying here. Like, you know what? You paid me. I'm fully bought in for 3 more years. Or he's still going to be kind of like the guy with 1 foot out the door still?
I think he'll be fine. That's just the type of player I think he is. I don't think he's like all in on culture, all in on being a leader. I think he's kind of just a guy that's going to go out there and he's a good running back that if he gets his money, he's going to shut up. That's personally what I believe. I think he'll shut up. I think he'll just get paid and, fully bought back in for at least next season. And if you go through another coaching change and if next year's a disaster, maybe you do go through maybe then year 2, if the next coach that they hire and they struggle, then there is a world where he taps out and he's forget about it. But that's the impression I get. If you pay him, I think he'll shut up, or not even shut up because he hasn't said much, but he'll go about his business the right way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, again, my take on that, though, I agree. It could very well be Bubs. I mean, how the hell do we know? We really don't know what he's thinking. But given that it's obvious the Jets are not going to be a winning team anytime soon. It's going to be several years. I mean, to really get to be
at least 2,
whatever. Yeah, I think so. You're talking 28, maybe. You'll be in the rounds. I hate to say it. It sucks.
2028 for competing.
Well, no. What I mean is to really be in it where you're a contender, where you're going in. Maybe you'll get and I'd give you an argument.
Can't wait for those
maybe
days.
in 27 you'll get a wild card. Let's say we can get a wild card playoff. What I mean, when you've got a shot at like the AFC championship game.
I'll just take 8 wins right now.
Next year, or anything, I'd be taking a winning season. I mean, the hell with it. But I think that with Breece Hall, I think the Jets are going to tag him. Personally, my gut tells me they're going to tag him.
Franchise tag him?
Franchise. But I could be wrong. I mean, again, the transition tag, the only reason that doesn't work, right? And again, the Jets have a lot of options there. The only thing is they're not going to get any compensation for him if they don't want to match somebody else's offer. Now, are other people going to be dying to pay him $14 million a year or $13 million a year if the Jets transition tag him? I think somebody might pay him 12. And will the Jets match that? Maybe, but he can refuse it if he wants. I just don't think that he wants. I don't think he wants to be here. Yeah. I don't think he really wants to be here. I don't think that he trusts him. Now, we'll see it, because if it is, he'll sign a long-term.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's this. If he signs a deal tomorrow morning, they're like, all right, he really wants to be here.
I mean, that's the question. But if he is willing, why haven't they locked him up? If they want him, why haven't they locked him up? And I think their attitude is going to be they're going to tag him. Whether it's transition or a full tag, I don't know. They're going to tag him. I think he's going to still try to get out if they do a transition tag.
Well, yeah, I think, to be honest with you, I think if that happens, he's gone. I think once you give him the open door to free agency and sign a contract somewhere else, they can construct a contract where it's like not a poison pill, but kind of like make it where the Jets don't want to, go that high or pay that kind of money or guaranteed money. I think he's gone. Yeah,
I think the point is, I think Hall is good enough. Put it this way, do I think he's the best running back in the league right now? No. But he's still good enough that he could command. Running backs are still not, getting paid what wide receivers do. They're still, at the bottom of the barrel again. But there's going to be teams, like I said, the fact that he can catch is going to attract several teams. They want him. He's a safety valve. He's a lot of things.
Yeah, but thanks for calling him, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't want to drag it. Let's get job in. I want to see his comments.
Have a good night, man.
Take care.
A part of me, this is going to come off really negative, but I don't care. I just got to say it because it's just how I feel. It's just like, I like the player Breece is. We all bought in the Breece. Breece this, Breece that, Breece Lightning. He's a cornerstone. To me, it's like the money you're going to pay him, and you look at the other free agent running backs that are available, you look at guys in the draft that you can get, it's like 1 year, $14 million makes no sense to me. It just doesn't. Like, I don't know. Like, I know they didn't use him right. He had poor quarterback play, all these different things. I understand all the facets of it. It's just like a part of me just keeps thinking a change of scenery to both sides is better. And if the Jets are going to suck with him or without him this year. That's kind of the way I look at it. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know why I keep feeling like that.
No, yeah. I mean, they'll probably suck either way. You're right about that. I guess I think he's a good player. They don't have many good players. I'm on board with keeping a good player around. I don't think he's elite. I don't think he's a top running back in the NFL. I think he's a solid player, and I think use him properly, he can be even better than that. But I'm on board. I don't think the franchise tag makes much sense for either side. I think you're better off going the transition tag route where he could test the market, see where his value's at, come back to the Jets. If they want to match it, great. If not, it's tough that you're not going to get anything for him. But I just think in a lot of ways, a franchise tag, I'm trying to say both at the same time, a franchise tag is going to work out worse for both sides, honestly. Because then you're paying him the 14.5. I don't necessarily know if Breece is going to be happy with that franchise tag.
He
did. You end up just trading him at that point,
But you see with the franchise tag, you kind of see like he's not going to sign it. He could hold out. Like you could see that whole drama unfolding where he's not going, oh, great, I'll just sign this now, report to camp. Like, I don't think it's going to happen, dude.
Yeah, no, I think it makes matters worse. I think you're better off transition tag, working out a long-term deal that way. Worst case scenario, you lose him for nothing, which would stink. But the franchise tag, I think, just makes matters worse. He wants a long-term extension. Franchise tag does not give him a long-term extension. He is not going to be happy.
What we're doing right now is we're talking numbers. And the benefit we have on this channel is we have a salary cap guru, a contract guru. The problem is, just like Aaron Glenn last year, he took a year off. His performance was horrendous. It was embarrassing. We thought about firing him, but I summoned my inner Woody Johnson, said, you know what? We'll keep him one more year to see what he can do. I'm not really encouraged. I have a funny feeling this time next year, he's not going to be with this. He'll probably be on afterburners doing contract talk, but what's up, man?
Is this guy coming on now? You could put me back in the green room. I'll wait. Is this the way you introduce people?
I gave you all that buildup. And this
you call that buildup?
I hyped you all up, man.
I don't call it hype.
Wasn't that hype, Bub? Wasn't that a hype? I gave him the whole friggin' thing. He's lit.
Lame duck is right. Oh my God. I don't think so. Jaime's the fact that he's president of that team. It's just
It's a
Ridiculous.
disgrace.
Another story in itself.
Every time I hear that name, I get angry.
I know, right?
Jaime.
And
It's
the
like,
other
what-
one,
what is he doing?
Axelrod.
So listen, we have less than 24 hours to the franchise tag deadline. What are the Jets going to do?
Transition tag. Let him see what
Okay.
the market
Do
is.
you think he stays or goes then?
Yeah, let him go. Let him go. I
Do you
go
think-
after that. I
Okay,
go
but-
after the. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Do you think so? Just say that he gets blown away with a crazy offer. Do you think the Jets feel pressure to bring him back to not feel the backlash of blowing at the trade deadline this year and then letting another young player get away from them?
You can't think that way. You got to look what the best for the team, right? You got to use at least 50 million of that cap space that you have. So you go out and get guys that are new to the team who can do probably just as good as job with what they've done. I'd go after that kid from Atlanta. That's
Tyler Algier.
shadows of Bijan. A kid, he's like a beast. He just runs and it's hard to bring him down.
There's a lot of. You have Rico Dowdle. You have freaking Isaiah Pacheco. There's a bunch of guys out there. Man.
Yeah. ATN. Also, if you want somebody like that, but
you also look at the
listen.
value. You look at the value of David Montgomery with the trade today. You look at the contract that the Cowboy running back got. It's interesting to see how the running back market is right now.
Yeah, what does he get? Like $8 million? He got $8 million.
Yeah,
Devontae Williams.
Javonte
So
Williams.
do you? And he had what 1,200 yards.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
more than
guarantee
Bruce.
you. I guarantee you. He doesn't. He goes in transition. He doesn't get more than $9 million a year.
Who? Breece?
Yeah.
Oh, he's getting more than that, dude.
Yeah. You think so?
Well, the transition tag's 11.
Yeah. But who's going to?
But see, the thing is, this is the good point. This is what I've been saying. Like, and it comes off so weird because I'm probably not communicating it correctly. But you're looking at, say, you get Tyler Algier for 3 years, 21 million, 7 million. Just say you get that. You say if you give him 8 or 9 million a year,
right?
And you're giving Breece what 13 million? Is Breece $4 million a year better than he is? And
No.
then it'd be a combination of Braylon Allen and Algier. So it's not like you have a guy that you hope comes back strong and good. Like, you know what I'm saying, Bubs? Like it's the sum of all the parts.
Listen, I would still go. I would still go after this guy, depending on Allen's health.
Yeah, but you're not gonna pay Breece 14 million, Algier 9 million a year. See, this is why you're firing him. See,
Well,
Bubs, we gave him 2 minutes.
You want to bring two quarterbacks?
You're gonna
in
pay
at the
two
same
running
price
backs
too, right?
What are you gonna do? Not field the rest of the team?
You got $90 million. You got $90 million.
What do you spend haphazardly? That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
How are you, Bubs? Let him play with the goat. Let him play with the
Take.
goat.
That's a ridiculous take. Algier and Breece.
Hey, two-headed monster.
Yeah, then that money can go somewhere else. Like you gotta get a guard. You need linebackers. You need safeties.
Still could get a guard. You got a lot of money.
Oh,
You got a lot of money.
you're like the American Express Black Card right now. You're like, oh, I'll just spend it all. Who cares? It's just
You
spending
gotta
spree.
you gotta spend 50 right off the bat.
Yeah, but
You
you
have
know how many
choice.
holes they have? Running back isn't the biggest need.
You're saying we can't get anybody.
Ground and pound.
This whole show. This whole show, you said we're not going to get anybody.
Well, to me,
Who's
I
gonna
think
come here?
I think the wide receiver help is going to come from the draft, not free agency, because everybody wants the same thing, and it's like, oh, Romeo Dobbs. You know who else wants Romeo Dobbs? The rest of the fucking NFL. So why is he going to come to the Jets with no quarterback?
Armand made a good point. Would you trade for Brian Thomas Jr.?
He drops a lot of passes, man. What do you think? What do you think, Bubs?
Yeah, I mean, he fell off badly last year. I was actually a victim of the Brian Thomas Jr. fantasy football decline. I took him. I drafted him. Very next pick was JSN. So just a disaster. Yeah, I mean, last year was brutal. He's intriguing in terms of if he can get back to his rookie year form. You're selling low right now on him. So in terms of a trade, you're getting him at low value, and you have him control for 3 more years, because then you have the 5th-year option because he was a first-round
23.
pick. So, yeah, he's young. It's a very intriguing option. I mean, I even last year, even with all the drops and the issues he had, he still is the second best receiver automatically in this room right now, minus Garrett probably. I mean, he might be. A.D. Mitchell is solid, but he definitely an upgrade. I mean, if you told me you traded for Brian Thomas Jr., maybe added a lower level veteran and drafted somebody, or you draft somebody and then you trade for Brian Thomas Jr. I could get on board with that, but it's just the concern is the risk is he more of the player we saw in year one, or is he more of the player we saw last year? And if he's more of the player you saw last year, then you're looking at
comes down to your quarterback
the wide
too,
receiver
so.
3.
Well, who's your quarterback going to be?
quarterback
Well,
plays a role.
and Afram's role is going to probably spend money on 3 quarterbacks because
Marcus,
he had the money.
baby. I'm going with Marcus.
Okay, Marcus Mariota and who?
And Tyrod.
Oof. Not sure I like that.
Whether you like it or not, it's like you have many choices. If
I
there's
like
anyone
Tyrod
who-
as a leader, but
Yeah. But
My
remember,
big-
anyone you're bringing in here, 1 second, Bob, anyone you bring in here is going to want to start. Correct?
he said
Yeah.
1 second, Bub. I show now.
No, I just wanted to, anyone you bring in here wants to start, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yes, we do have Bailey's and Hendon Hooker.
Oh, that's right. Henry Hooker. I forgot about him.
there you go.
Yes.
I
See,
like
now we're
dude.
building out a room. Here we go. Bailey's happy Hendon Hooker. Now,
Yeah,
which
you-
rookie
What
we
a
taking?
disaster.
We don't
That's
even need
looking
to
better.
address it in free agency.
More optimistic. Yeah.
My God. What a
Yeah,
disaster.
okay. Exactly.
Hendon Hooker, he had the connection with Engstrand. Oh, wait.
There's a lot of connections in this whole thing. We have more connections than players.
Connected to a light socket.
There you go.
So who's your okay? So listen, we got this time
Enough of
next
this
week.
first time call.
This time next week, we're going to have like 3 players signed. Who are they going to be?
Devin Lloyd.
Jesus Christ! How much you paying Devin Lloyd?
I don't know.
You don't know.
S-
Just whatever he wants. We have $100 million of cap space. Let's break the bank on Devin Lloyd now.
15 mil, 15 to 17,
Oh my God!
2 years,
2 years? You think he's going to sign a 2-year deal?
2 or 3. He's 27.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got a 3-year deal, get out in 2.
What are we doing
Work
here?
one of those deals.
It's just
Like we've all with everyone else. 3-year deal, out in 2, option of 2.
it's not realistic, dude.
It
This is
seems to work
ridiculous.
quite a bit with other players.
This may be your worst call. This
No,
is
no,
terrible.
no, no. It's not what you
horrendous.
want to hear. That's the problem. It's
You
not
think
what
Devin
wanna
Lloyd's going to
hear.
take a 2-year deal from the Jets?
No, I'm saying 3-year deal, but out in 2. The option to get out after 2.
But why? Who's getting the option? Him or us?
It could be
How-
both.
How
They-
much?
They've been doing that nonstop with other guys have had the same deal.
Who? Like who?
How much you said?
Who fucking do Stone Smart?
Oh my God! Play with the goat.
But look at
Jelani
you're
Woods.
comparing one of the top players in football as opposed to the clowns we have on this team. Oh well, Josh Reynolds got
What the
a
hell?
favorable deal. No shit. You know why? Because he sucks.
What were you saying, Bubs?
Exactly. You can't answer.
So how much are you paying him over the 3 years or 4 years, whatever it is, 2 years, 3 with and 2 out?
What I say about 17? What's that? 34? What's that? About 51?
Yeah.
Okay. Guarantee him 30.
Yeah.
Let's say.
Bubs, your thoughts?
Yeah.
Right now, his value
get
is
out.
$20 million per year. So he's gonna give the Jets a discount. But we'll continue going with this.
Don't go by that. Everyone
Don't go by the facts.
That's not the facts. That's just speculation.
Let's just go
That's
by
just
fantasy
speculation
landscape.
these guys put on
Okay,
paper
you know what?
there
My bad.
in
I'm gonna give
Spotrack and all that.
No,
Has
what
that
I'm
ever
gonna do is
been
I'm
that
just
very
gonna-
accurate?
Let's keep it real here, Bubs.
Has that been very accurate?
Let's keep it real. We're gonna give Devin Lloyd 3 years,
Oh.
$10 million per.
We'll see what
Because you know what?
market
That's all we're gonna pay today. Because that's all we feel like. He's gonna come sign that, and then we're gonna get Derek Carr 2 years, $5 million per. No problem.
This is what I got to go through. Here I
Give
come.
Josh Reynolds 5 more years. Why not? He's great.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
What are you paying him?
I'm not getting Devin Lloyd.
Why
I
not?
don't want him.
Well, who do you want? Anzalone
Why not?
at 32
I've already convinced myself that Anzalone is a
Yeah.
Jet. Like, I just think it's going to happen. It's just the stars align for it.
What about the
Why?
linebacker?
Why is it a
Not
line?
that not necessarily I want Anzalone, because I think there's a lot of flaws in his game and he is older, and I don't think he's that good, and they probably will overpay. But it's just the obvious connection with Glenn. That's like
There was
his
a lot
guy.
of
We even
connections
heard
to Glenn
Anzalone
last
connect.
year. We didn't get.
Yeah,
them.
No, yeah, I mean, we heard Anzalone rumors last year potentially via
He loves Aaron
trade that
Glenn.
never happened. Yeah, so
He loved him
because
so
I
much
think
he
he
didn't come
even
last
worked with
year.
him in
Oh yeah,
New
we
Orleans.
came out. We also heard about Tim Patrick for how long? How'd that work out for us?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it. This is what I'm talking about.
I'm not really sure what you're talking about.
Well-
I know you don't.
So now let's see. So now you're gonna get 2 high priced quarterbacks. You're gonna get Devin Lloyd, the highest paid
Who's
linebacker.
the high
in
price
football.
quarterback?
That's what you just said.
Who's the high price quarterback?
Who's your first quarterback that you wanted?
Marcus Mariota.
Okay, who's your second quarterback that you wanted?
I said Tyrod.
No, I'm sorry, running backs. You have 2 high priced
I
running
said
backs.
Algier instead of.
So now you have 14 million for Breece. You have Algier for 10 million per.
No, I didn't say 14.
Now you got
for
Devin
Breece.
Lloyd for 20.
I didn't say
per.
14 for Breece. Now you're changing this whole thing
About
up.
12.
Okay, not even
That
that.
whole $2 million makes a difference. We have $20 million invested at the running back position, and now $20 million at linebacker for one player. There goes 40.
So did you want talent, or do you want to just a scrub and pay him a lot of money?
I mean, I want a complete roster. You can't be top heavy.
Okay, but listen, if you're gonna, let's say you want Styles, so you're not even going to bother with Lloyd. Maybe go after Leo Chanel.
Why not? Shell's a good
No,
player.
I have
too.
no problem. But I mean, you still, if you're not going to go for Styles, who'll probably be your primary, you're going to have to go with someone else to match him up with instead of Sherwood, or I don't know what they're going to do with Sherwood. I hope
You got to beg Salah takes him.
you make a deal with them. But do you think? I think they still go with Reese for some reason.
yeah. If
This is
I had to predict right now, I think Reese is still the pick at 2.
yeah,
But it is only March. A lot can change.
A lot can change.
no, everything. Well, yeah, many things can change.
We just run like the wishbone.
Yeah, I tell you, if Sadiq is at 16, I'm running to the podium.
I love him, dude. He's such a good player.
There's your wide receiver.
He's a beast, man.
Yeah.
Okay, he's 4.39. Okay, and his size. And
Look at Afram watching the combine, breaking some stats out.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying
The first 6 minutes had bad stats, but he finally had a good one on this one.
that's your wide receiver at that point, right?
Did you feed your dog? He's crying.
He comes to me when he wants to go, and my son's
So-
sitting right over there. He doesn't even go to him. I have to go. He wants me to take him out. He goes to him when he comes home.
So now, right now, he's telling the dog, listen, I'm busy working right now, dog. Just go
I'm
pee
here
the floor.
dealing with Tyson here,
Just
Riley.
pee the floor.
Okay, sweetheart.
So if you go Sadiq at 16, who's your other pass catcher? Free agency?
Free agency,
or
man, most likely. If you
Day
can.
2, like a Surratt from Indiana or something like that.
Yeah, why not? You got A.D. Mitchell, too. You need at least,
Yeah.
you need at least one more.
Would you go?
I am
another
warming
edge?
up to the idea of a Brian Thomas Jr. trade. Just thinking about the last couple minutes, I must admit.
Would you go
It's
for another edge or CJ Allen?
Yeah. Anthony Hill's another one, linebacker from
Anthony
Texas.
Hill,
That's an interesting name.
Who's the other one? Cooper.
The Toledo
wide
safety is
receiver.
pretty good.
I just feel like we're
from
witnessing
Oregon's
animal
pretty good.
abuse right now, where I hear the dog crying in the
He's
background.
fine. He always
It
does
seems like
that.
animal abuse. We can't
I
condone
take
this.
him on, he does a squirt and he kills me. He keeps me out there for 20 minutes just to do a squirt.
And this guy's drinking on the show. What are you doing over there, drinking on the show?
I'll just drink his water.
I'm
What
going to go
is
mute
it?
for 1 second. Talk, Javid.
I was gonna say, see, Afram now Afram knows what it was like when Tyson's nitpicking your contract situation.
He gave a bad take. What do you want me to tell you? He wants to pay $20 million for running backs.
You force numbers on the spot, and then you just
How do I
kill us
force numbers?
for
Is
it.
what he said.
I'm just saying.
He said Breece and Tyler Algier. I think it's a horrible way to allocate your money.
I typically agree with Afram, but I disagree on that one. Yeah, I wouldn't pay both.
I'm paying both and be happy about it.
I mean, you'll be happy when you can't sign nobody else, though.
If you
I
didn't
signed
have
so many people, it'd be unbelievable.
Oh my God, this is you know what? This is an afterburners call. This
If you
is where
don't
it's like
have-
fantasy land
Because
bullshit.
No
integrity whatsoever now.
I've got 90 million this year.
We
And
used to
I
have
got
integrity on the
200 next
show.
year. What makes you think I'm going to use some of that 200 for this year when I want to? If I wanted to,
I like using the 200 million. I agree with that. I
Okay.
just don't like using it on Algier and Breece.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
That's the hang up for me.
I'm just
I agree,
saying.
Sven, though.
All I was saying, if Allen isn't healthy, that would be a good 1-2 punch right there. If you're gonna,
Yeah, but you
if
can
all
get
he
better,
talks
cheaper
about-
options. You can get Price later on in the draft. He's a good running back.
Yeah, I would like drafting someone over that.
Yeah, I mean, it's called. It's what
What-
it's called. It's
and what do you
wise
give
roster
him? What do you
management,
give him?
wise
What do you
cap
give him?
management.
I'll say something. Because I'm sorry. I just don't like that. The idea of just paying both of them like a solid deal. I'd rather just draft Love at 2 than that. And I don't want to draft Love at 2. Let me just before Tyson
you
gets off the hand.
Dude, I want to find a way to get Love on this team, dude. Breece
I
would
would
blow
love
my
to
ass.
have him on this team. It's just not. We're just not built for it this year.
Nope.
It's not time. Stars haven't aligned for us. We're
What the hell's
too
going on
high.
at Afram's house now? Is there a riot going on now? Is the dog on the counter?
He's gone. My son got him.
Just riot
Is
over
that right? Am I right now? It's okay. All's well.
there. I don't know.
You're not going to turn me into the
ASPCA?
ASPCA?
Yeah. I think Bub's already texted him. It seems like he was texting over there.
No. Bub's a nice person.
Not what your takes tonight. He's not. You're making Bubs mad. He's turning red up there.
No, he's not. He liked my take. He liked the take on Brian Thomas Jr. Okay.
Job, are you in for Brian Thomas Jr.?
When you don't have that much to choose from.
Why would I want? I'm sorry. Why would I want Brian?
Too late for that, my friend.
Why would I want Brian Thomas Jr. when he's not? I'd rather go back and get the Yak King back. Right?
Malachi Corley?
He's so much better than BTJ, isn't he?
That's what
Yeah,
we've
good
heard.
point. I actually was questioning where you were going with that for a second, but that was a good one.
I still can't believe they laughed when they drafted him.
Yep.
They high-fived each other.
No matter what.
And then somehow they walked out with good PR that Woody ruined the whole thing and not them.
Yep.
They were
amazing.
they high-fived each other and then put it in the documentary. They greenlit that. They greenlit their draft board, having him way ranked down, and said, "Yeah, put that in there."
Yep. Only the Jets.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That was crazy.
Well, Afram, thank you for calling in, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Bubs, for having me.
Any final hot takes before next week?
No, I leave all the hot takes to you because you're a master at this.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
We try to have
you don't know what you're talking about.
We try to have a good conversation here, and you bring nonsense to the table.
No, I bring ideas.
Ideas. You're supposed to be a responsible cap guy, and you're spending haphazardly.
You talk about we get everything on the cheap, and now when we want to spend a little money, you don't want to.
You're spending at the most irrelevant position on the goddamn team.
What? We talked about jet tax. Now you don't want to spend the jet tax. You want to be the cheap.
You're spending the jet tax on 2 running backs.
So make up your mind. Are you going to pay guys, or you're not going to pay guys?
You're going to pay a jet tax on running backs. Okay. Meanwhile, we can't afford offensive linemen.
I'm going to pay whoever can do good for this team.
Yep, Jesus.
Okay.
Your last name must be McCagnon.
All right. Well, who are you bringing in? You say the wide receivers are going to come in because we ain't got a quarterback.
I'm not paying for 2 running backs.
Okay. You ain't got many choices.
I got plenty of choices. Running backs are a dime a dozen, dude. I don't need to spend
everybody's a dime a dozen
on
to you.
I never said that.
I don't know what's gotten into you. I think you've been putting that.
I don't like animal abuse. I feel bad for the dog now. It's upsetting.
That's why you keep yelling with that goat.
Poor dog is probably sitting there peeing.
Javed, I feel sorry for you because he's going to attack you next for the next 5-10 minutes.
I like Javed.
I'm lucky because I'm going off in 2 seconds, but I feel bad.
He's going to his next channel. He's going to be on. He's going to guest on like 5 different channels.
All you did was just rile Tyson up, and then
no,
you just talked me up, and Tyson's going to spike me. It's like you just got him angry.
He uses me to get his frustrations out now.
No,
before you used to appreciate me coming on and talking, but now
I used to appreciate you came on. I used to come on prepared with good contract talk and this and that.
I used to say the same thing about you. You have all your little notes on there, and half of them don't make sense. But Javed, it's good to see you again.
That's Afram.
Good luck to you.
That's just the
All
life
right.
cycle of a
Okay.
Let's Talk Jets caller. The only
Just be-
person immune to the downfall is Jose.
Yeah. Just be careful what you say in the next 5 to 10 minutes because
We're not going to talk running back for 6 minutes. I'll tell you that
you
much.
never know. It might be tight ends. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
Hey,
or Drew Allar. You never know.
Oh, not for I'm not
Bubs,
mentioning his name.
you're not
well,
gonna like what I have to say.
Tyson, to you, have a wonderful evening.
You have
my
a
friend.
blessed evening, my
Have a
friend.
good one.
You take care.
Get him out of here. So, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm just had a nice laugh. I'm feeling good. Feeling happy.
So, what are we gonna do with Breece Hall? We got less than 24 hours.
Are we still doing Breece talks?
Just real quick. It's a prediction time.
I mean, Muji told us he's gonna tag him. Let's see. I said, I'll just make it quick. I think Breece is kind of about the money. I don't think we'll see what happens. I think he wants to leave, but I think the money will keep him here. So,
Okay, so we'll bounce back from that. The quarterback position is getting interesting because it appears that Kirk Cousins is off the table. I think Kirk probably told them I'm not interested, but
we knew that.
But yeah, so that you have him out. In theory, Kyler Murray is not a fit for this offense or this organization for a variety of reasons. So if you're taking those two guys out, what's your top three at quarterback then? Is Derek Carr even in the mix? Are you going Mariota? How are you handling this?
I'm not sure Kyler's out still. I'm not gonna lie.
God.
And it's only because of the report that like he might be released. Because if he's released and then he's just a cheap option, I'm not gonna say I really want Kyler. I'm just looking at it realistically. A cheap option's an option you have to explore. Who knows where he ends up? But that I don't think he's actually like fully out. Also, I just right now when I look at reports, I kind of just disregard them all because we've yet to really have any. The only time we've had concrete reports with this regime is after they were already in contact with guys, and at this current moment, they can't talk to the free agents yet, really, or the guys who are pending free agents. So,
yeah, but I think the one thing is like
anything.
Boomer Esiason's got a really good pulse of this franchise because he's ties with Frank Reich. They mentioned Kyler Murray this morning. He's like, absolutely not. Like he's like, nope, dismissed it so quickly. Where I'm like, either that's an incredible smokescreen, or it's like, listen, because he thinks same way we think, where he's just not a good fit for this organization at this time, regardless of the price tag. And that's kind of the way I feel.
I see it because I think that's one of the things with Kyler that I think of, like, where me as a Jets fan, I wouldn't want him, right? And Kyler comes with the the whole Madden thing, and I think it's funny because at the time when it happened, I laughed at it like everyone else. I thought it was ridiculous, but sorry, not Madden, COD. What Madden? I was just and I was thinking about like how ever since then we actually haven't really heard a new thing about Kyler. Everyone's just talking about that one thing that happened years ago, and for all we know, Kyler could be studying or could be doing his things, and could be just be. The team is in a bad situation. It's not a good roster. It's not like they're a quality team, right? And so that could be the reason why they're struggling, right? The line sucks. He gets hurt every year because the line sucks. But for the team like the Jets, you can't afford to bring him in because it goes bad, and exactly how everything goes with our team. It's the same reason why, for example, last year, people talking even in the late rounds, Shador's falling to like the fifth round. And you're asking me, and I didn't dislike Shador in college. No, thank you on the Jets, because the Jets are a team where I don't think we can have that. We need just a straight buttoned up, just a regular person. Do
you think the notion that keeps getting passed around is the Jets need a splash move? To me, Kyler Murray is not a splash move; it's a desperate move. Like, I mean, the Jets are in a bad situation with the quarterback, but it's like this split. Like, to me, it's just it's headlines. For all the wrong reasons. Like, I couldn't buy into him. We know what's going to happen with him. Like, I'm not saying I love Andy Dalton or Mariota or any of those other guys, but I'm like, all right, adult in the room, see what it is, bring in two veterans. I don't know, just the Kyler Murray thing is just not a good fit for me, man. It's just not.
I would say I don't think
he doesn't sell tickets. Are you buying tickets to see Kyler Murray play?
I'm not buying tickets to see anyone play.
That's me too.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
No.
Well, Bubs the guy that buys the tickets. Maybe Bubs would.
I mean, Tyson, you don't want me. You don't want me to buy tickets. Must I remind you, the 3 Jets games I've gone to,
that's right,
where Zach Wilson with his like 3-4 picks against the Patriots.
Yep.
Zach Wilson against the Jaguars in the rain, and then Rodgers tearing his Achilles. I don't think you guys want me going to games anymore.
We hung out for the game. So
Stay
Bubs,
Yeah.
Bubs, if the Jets sign Kyler Murray, does it make you want to buy tickets?
No. Nothing would make me want to buy tickets with this team this offseason.
I agree.
Right
I don't think in terms of quarterback there's any splash move.
Nope.
But in terms of the quarterbacks we're looking at, on-field results, Kyler would bring the most splash if it actually worked out. I'm not saying but this is not me lobbying for Kyler. I was just saying in terms of I think none of the quarterbacks are splash moves. The only splash move at quarterback is drafting Simpson, and I'm still iffy on that.
That would make me nervous because the nervousness would be when the Jets have 3 wins in late November. I'm like, oh, we got to play the kid, and we know he's not ready. That's when I start getting nervous.
That's not why I'm nervous. I've said it. I like the kid. I just think the best path for the Jets is to use our trade ups, our picks to trade up next year for a QB. All right, I just feel like that's the best option for us.
So rank your top 3 quarterback options then for yourself.
Can we just talk about a different position?
No, we gotta do this. We'll go on to Devin Lloyd next because apparently Devin Lloyd's the savior of the team.
I'm telling you, right now I don't have like top quarterback options. I just have a lot of things I don't want.
A lot of pain.
Yeah, I genuinely I'm just it's just a wait and see with as where it comes for quarterback. I don't have high expectations. I just want some competence. Bring me a vet. Get the ball to Garrett Wilson and whoever else you draft or bring in. That's what I want to see. I want to see pick 2.
So hold on. We'll transition to this. The Jets made a power move, trading away Jermaine Johnson, leaving a hole at pass rusher, which for some, pick 2 could be pass rusher, but you could also get a pass rusher in free agency, getting more flexibility in the draft for somebody else. How would you handle that?
I'm taking the risk. It's not like the risk, but I'm taking Reese. I think I like Styles, I like Downs. I'm not going to say I dislike those players,
but
I think Reese he's the pick. He's also a physical freak, right? You hear good things about him mentally and him as a leader and a locker room presence. You haven't heard anything negative about him. You've just heard positive things. He's also 20, right? He's 2 years younger.
Can I say something? Everybody from the Ohio State locker room is getting the same thing.
Yeah.
Styles, Downs, Reese, all great leaders, great culture guys. It's a whole locker room full of leader guys.
True. But theoretically, if you have your defensive line leader, your linebacker leader, and your DB team leader, that's how it goes sometimes. You can have multiple leaders at each level. I would be a lot more I would have a lot more red flags about it if you're telling me everyone's a team leader and it's just 3 guys who play the same position because one of you is the leader. I'm sorry.
Right.
But I think Reese, he's only 20. He's still going to get bigger. He plays the run well. He has the pass rushing upside. And, you look at his numbers, you look at his metrics and his body and some of the stats, right? Where, he didn't get many opportunities to pass rush, but when he did, he was impressive. And you think about the comparability he has to Micah Parsons. And even if he's close to that, where you can move him around and he can pass rush from standing up above the center, or he can go on the left, he can go on the right, he can be someone you move around, you can drop him into coverage. If we can have someone like that, and that's part of the thing where, I think of my people talk about Bailey versus Reese, right? I think Bailey probably is people say he's the safer pick, but I mean, the Jets are ass enough where, might as well fuck it, right? We need to, if we can get a generational talent and just truly
generational talent, we want Jeremiah Love then.
No. I mean, I get what you're saying, Tyson, but you can't be ridiculous. I think
in the eyes of many, they say Caleb Downs and Jeremiah Love are the 2 best players in the draft.
I agree with that.
So the Jets are so good they can pass on both of them?
Yes. Well, no,
they don't.
All right. The Jets are not so good that they can pass on both of them.
Right?
I just think Reese has the potential to be a mercurial talent at linebacker / edge.
Bubs, can you translate that for me? What is mercurial? That sounds like a negative to me.
Mercurial.
Sounds negative.
No, it's not negative. It's very positive.
Magical. Close to it.
Yeah, something like that. Basically.
I think the atoms are around Javid's head right now.
I'm just saying, if Reese has the potential to be a very, very special.
There's a rule here, Afam. If you're gonna try to insult me, at least spell my name right. That's just little basic rules. I mean, I mean, it's on the screen. You can't even see it's still on the screen. What are we doing here?
Yeah, but I really like Reese. I think could you imagine if we have a pass rusher who we can just, especially along with McDonald, right? Because if we can stop the run, because you have Sweat, you can trust Reese, who can play the run a little well on the outside, and then you have just him and Will in like third and long, second and long situations. Oh, come on, that would be something like really.
Are you saying
really
we're going to be playing with the lead?
I hope so.
That'd be
I
nice.
mean, we can't be playing from behind the whole time, right?
I'm just asking questions. What do you think, Bubs?
Playing with the lead, we're not going to be playing with the lead much this year. I don't think. No.
Playing.
I mean,
Get
but
them into third and long without playing the lead. Sorry, Bubs, to cut you off.
What are your
yeah,
Bubs,
no.
wait,
I mean,
Bubs,
they've got to put themselves in more passing situations. Sorry, what was that?
what is your assessment of Javid's assessment of Reese? It's a lot of assessing right there.
Yeah, I think it was a good. My assessment is it was a good assessment of the assessment. But no, yeah, I mean, I like Reese too. It's just the bigger thing between him and Bailey is like Bailey's the sky's the limit from a pass rushing standpoint. Had the 14.5 sacks, led the nation there, led the nation in pressures. The athleticism was off the charts at the combine. So if you go him, you're relying more on that just pure pass rusher. The run defense needs a lot. Needs a lot of improving, and there is some lot left to be desired from that aspect. Arvo Reese, a little bit more of that balanced stand-up edge rusher. So if you're looking for the balance, and he's a beast as a pass rusher too, then Reese is your guy. And that's where I think Reese is still ahead for me, just because he's a more complete pass rusher. So, yeah, I mean, I like Reese. I really like Bain too, but I just don't think he fits a 3-4.
No.
And I'm not concerned about Bain's arms. The dude was a stud at Miami. Like, you turn on the tape, he was a monster there. I just don't think he fits now because he's a 4-3 that could switch inside on third and long and allow, all your pass rushers to be out there at the same time. He's not a 3-4 guy. So that's where Reese and Bailey are your front runners. And I still think Reese is one, but it could change. I mean, Bailey, his name's hot right now, and we still a month and a half left to go before the draft. There is a very good chance we get to April, get to the draft, and Bailey's the guy. It's kind of like Membu last year. This was right about the time where Membu started to storm onto the scene, right? Every time after the combine, those risers. So Bailey could be in that same boat of where you feel like for the longest time it was Reese or Bailey. Now it's Reese or Bain. Now it's Bailey's starting to rise up too. So it'll be interesting.
Just for a sidebar, real quick. I love Rutt's Hut in Clifton. We're talking hot dogs in the chat over here. I'm watching the hot grill Rutt's Hut. Like, I'm just made me hungry now. Sorry, go ahead,
I just wanted to add on that. I kind of, on where it comes to Reese, I mean to Bailey, and I will not pretend to be a defensive line guru. So don't start with the jokes and Javed defensive line breakdown. I'm just looking at things I've seen from other people online. They're talking about how he does have great pass rushing chops, but he's a bit they say potential. There's a concern about his bendiness and his agility. And then to me, then he shows up and he doesn't do the agility drills. He does great on the other, like the straight line things, which is where, he kind of excels in terms of his pass rushing. But I was kind of concerned about that. But then to me, Reese also killed the combine. And I think probably even more than he did. So I don't think he may not rise because of that. But I'll say this, right? When it comes to like Reese and you're hesitant because you think he might be a bust or he might not work out. Like, if we can't trust Carl Dunbar to develop a defensive lineman, I mean, who can?
What about Aaron Glenn? What about our head coach?
I mean, come on, your head coach isn't working on the defense.
So I had a question for you.
We have an established defensive line coach who's been working with one of the best pass rushers in the league for years. He's consistently had good D lines. If he says Arvell Reese is the guy and he can make him to something, I'll just trust it.
So, what are your thoughts on going after Devin Lloyd in free agency?
I think I'd probably rather go for like Chenal and Anzalone. I think for me, I would like to draft the edge at 2, so I wouldn't go for a big his superpower is calling plays, not developing linemen. Come on, guys, you guys have to you guys gotta keep up.
Carl Dunbar's superpower is the line.
Yeah.
Here's a good question. This is something I've been thinking about a lot. Good job, Seth. Suppose we trade down and acquire more capital. The Browns, for example, is that more valuable than taking a certain player at 2? I would say yes. Because I think if you say you trade back to where were the Browns at? What number of Browns?
Brown,
6, I think.
6.
Yeah.
You're still gonna you can still get Caleb Downs at 6.
What are we
You
getting?
get Jeremiah Love at 6.
Stop it, Tyson. We're not drafting.
And you're getting more draft picks. Jets aren't one player away. You're not
I get
Reese
that.
away from being great.
Okay, what are we getting for trading down? That's what I'd ask you.
If you can get a third, I think that'd be big.
You can get more than a third.
I wouldn't.
Well, I mean, you'd obviously get their. Well, if you're moving the 6, you'd obviously get their 6th, and then a third, and then
Something else.
maybe a 4th, maybe.
I would do
I
it.
also don't think you. Let me see where the drafts.
Yeah, they are right.
I don't
Yeah, the
think
chat
you
is
get
right. They also,
down
because that's
at-
the Jacksonville pick.
Yep.
Yeah, they also do have the 24th pick.
I don't think you get downs at
I
6.
believe that's from Jacksonville.
He'd probably going to the Giants.
Yeah, that's what I think. The Giants are taking.
And Jeremiah Love sitting right, or you get Sonny Styles there at 6.
I think.
Yeah, so
I mean,
then you would
there's-
take 6 and 24. Yeah.
see, there's a lot of people talking about the Titans potentially getting Love, but I wouldn't be surprised if they took Styles. Either.
What
way.
about trade with the Browns? Get 6 and 24. Take Simpson at 24.
I don't want that. I'm sorry. I would personally. I'd much rather just stay and pick. I looking at the picks we have, we're not going to end up using 6 because you're talking about trading back. That would make it 6 first rounders in the next 2 years. We're not going to pick 6 first rounders.
Why not?
It's just you're just not going to do it because even like
According to Afrin, we have $400 million in cap space.
But I would say no, but Tyson,
I mean, next
cap
year,
space financially, right? Say you pick 6 good players in the first round the same year, right? You're in a good situation, but you're definitely not going to be able to keep all 6 players, right? That's
you're probably not going to hit all 6 anyway. You'll probably get like 4 of them.
I get that, but if you use, but instead of thinking that way, what if you just use an extra one to trade up so you have a higher chance of hitting?
Fair enough.
So
moving from 6 to 2 would cost. Oh, I'd be down. I'd do that in a heartbeat. I'd do that in a fucking heartbeat. I would do it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Go to
I
6.
still wouldn't
Yeah,
draft
you move back
quarterbacks.
4. Let's say you take Sonny Styles 6. Then you go Mekhi Lemon 16. And then 24.
Sadiq.
I have a question. Since we're just throwing things out there,
Okay.
I've seen a few times. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce. I guess I will attempt to pronounce it. So please don't kill me.
The offensive lineman.
Penn State, I think.
Vega Ioni. They call him
Penn
Vega,
State, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people
I
mocking
don't even want to try to pronounce
to
that
us.
name either.
Yeah, I think McShay was on Rich Eisen's show today, and he called him Vega. And so I've seen him mock to us a few times, right, at 16, and I think McShay kind of hit on this when he was talking on Rich's show, where he said the kind of issue in this draft is you look at the best 3 players in this draft, and the best 3 players are a running back, a safety, and an offensive guard. And he said he looks at those 3 guys and he sees them all as potentially like he said he bet like Hall of Fame level players.
Mhm.
And he's saying, obviously you don't like to take guard in the first round, to a lot of teams, but if you're looking at a Hall of Fame player, I would just take him. He said he's worth. I mean, he's worth that kind of high pick, right? Where I don't think the Colts are looking at like, man, we took Nelson at 6, right? Yep. That was like an amazing pick. And so my question for you is, would you potentially want to take him at 16 if he was there for us?
Well, the first question I have is, what do we do in free agency? Did we sign anybody in free agency to be a starter?
Say you brought back AVT on a or Simpson. Okay, you don't like AVT, whatever. I'm not trying to.
I don't not like him. I just think it's his money.
I get it. You don't like the idea of the money and the things. I know you don't. We've had this. I'm not trying to argue. I was just throwing a placeholder starter in.
But say we like Simpson. I'm not really high on Simpson either, but that could be. I wonder how much of a difference Frank Reich has on him.
But I would say the question in that situation was say you brought back Simpson on a 2-year deal, right?
Yeah.
Would you just draft him and then just kick Myers out and move Tippmann back to center?
Oh. You can make an argument Tippmann's better at guard than he was at center.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I could argue Tippmann at center is still better than where Myers is.
That's a fair point too.
Yeah. But Tippmann I think is still better than a center than Myers was.
Small arms are fine for an interior lineman.
Yeah, it's interior line.
Yeah, the Will Campbell comp That's different. Yeah.
Will Campbell should be moved to guard, to be honest.
Yeah, he should be.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, if you're getting the best guard in the draft at 16, how can you be mad at it when you look at your offensive line? Then when you have, dude, it's ridiculously young and they'll be playing together for a decade.
We have an insane see. That would be the kind of line you have where see. Not I was gonna say something crackpot. Never mind. I was gonna say if you took Love at 2 than him at 16, we'd get killed in terms of like positional value drafting. But boy, our run game would be insane. But I don't know. I'm not actually.
You understand? We're just spitballing here.
Yeah, because I mean, if you guys are saying you're fine taking, Styles or Love or oh my gosh, Downs at 2.
Yeah.
If you're looking at a potentially Hall of Fame guard at 16, I mean, why not? I think the Jets should be just this draft. That's why I really don't want to draft quarterback. I think you stack as many great players as you can. Like, say we left with Reese and Vega, or Reese and if CJ Allen was there at 16, because I think CJ Allen, he's also like a dog. He's not as athletic as Styles, but when you hear the things you talk about here, everyone we hear about leadership, but then I think I saw something where CJ Allen was there. He was asked about his responsibilities on defense, and Georgia's they have a very established defensive scheme and defensive sets, and he said the coach let him just run everything. He called the stuff. He changed the things when he wants. He truly was allowed to have free reign over a Georgia defense, and that is something that means something. And I think CJ Allen would be a great pickup. I think looking at this draft, there's so many ways that the Jets can improve themselves, whether speak and you want to have the 1-2 of him and Mason Taylor, or you want to go improve the defense. That's where I'm just looking at this year and I say, skip on the quarterback, improve the team as much as you can. Use your 3 first to get a quarterback, however many you need. Maybe you get lucky and the Colts, they have an injured quarterback. You're trying to do whatever they have. We'll have a year hate watching the Packers and the Cowboys, and maybe one of them blesses us.
Look, this, now see, this is what we call, Afram can learn from this. This is what we call.
Don't pit me against Afram.
No, you bounce back from last week. Last week was a little hostile and chaotic, and this week, right, Bubs? This is an excellent call. This is an excellent bounce back, man.
I thought last week was a solid call. It was 2 weeks ago when we fought.
Was it 2 weeks? We fought a lot.
Last week was with Bubs. 2 weeks ago was with Afram as the thing.
Well, good talking to you, man.
It was nice talking to you too.
Have a good night.
Good one.
See, wasn't that call better though? He's like, he's rounding into his like mid-season form right now.
Yeah. The mid-season call.
See, Job. He said, Afram says, "Good job, Job." Since you're allowed to spitball, all Afram did was just spit. There was no ball. What's up, man?
How you guys doing?
Well, we're what, a week away from free agency, man. It's not doing too bad. How you doing?
Well, a lot's been happening. Like you said, once that Jermaine Johnson got traded to the Titans, left a whole lot pass rusher.
Yep.
And now, we left with questions that, what's going to happen in the next few months, because the draft is right around the corner. For me, yeah, I think you would have to transitional tag Breece, because it makes the most sense, especially since, we're not trying to eat all the cap, because we have a lot of dead money from Aaron Rodgers, and I'm assuming probably some dead money from Devontae Adams, maybe.
I think Justin Fields, Jefferson, but they're going to have like $100 million in cap space, so they're going to have tons of cap space.
Yeah. But, it's unfortunately a transitional year since they decided not to fire Glenn because of loyalty. But
it's true.
What I will say is, like, for quarterback, my first call would be Mariota. Now, my second call, because they might want to. I know the Bills might want to maybe re-sign Trubisky. But a name that I've been thinking about since he's a tall type of quarterback would be Sam Howell, because I would like to see.
I always like Sam Howell.
I would like to see what Frank Wright could do with him. Because experienced coach, he's a tall quarterback. He's accurate. From what I heard from college, he's accurate with the ball.
He's like 25 years old.
Yeah, and he's young enough to where you could say, okay, if Mariota gets hurt or he's not producing the way that they thought, I mean, I don't know how you would expect him to produce really, but I would see if they could get Sam because he's young, and think about it like this: next year he could be in the quarterback competition with whoever we pick
It's not
up
terrible.
in the draft.
It's worth the shot. I mean, what do you think, Bubs? I don't mind Sam Howell. He's young. He'd be cheap. Good competition for Mariota. Why not?
Yeah, I don't hate Sam Howell either. He's already had some starting experience too in the NFL, and it's kind of like the McKee type of quarterback, but you're not giving anything up for him, and he comes very cheap as a free agent. So, yeah, he's one of those names where if you want to go the veteran route, the older veteran, and then the younger veteran or younger stopgap, that could come in and compete like a Mariota, Sam Howell, have those two compete at camp. I wouldn't be against it now as a cheap backup for whoever your other starter veteran is.
Yeah, and then you go from there. People talking about Anzalone. Unfortunately, it's going to be probably more than like a 3-year deal. Probably maybe something like 4 years. That's how fucking bad we are.
Like, how old is Anzalone now? He's what?
Anzalone, I think he's 32. Oof. Or will be, he's 31. I think he will be 32. Yeah, he's 31, but he's going to be 32 like September. So
what kind of,
essentially 32.
You're not giving him a 5-year deal. You got to probably give him a 3-year deal, right?
Yeah.
It's his last big contract in the NFL.
Yeah.
They might add an extra year because you never know.
That shit never ends well.
And then
you're still paying for the Douglas Void years and all that junk too.
And see, it goes back to the damn mismanagement of what the hell happened previously.
But let's be honest, they mismanaged it last year too. Joe Douglas was very bad at his job. They just made a lot of bad decisions last year in free agency as well. They were not
and the whole not taking Rodgers' cap hit in 1 year was a mistake too.
Yep.
In my opinion.
I mean it goes to show like there has to be a plan. We for some reason us fans never know what's the planning process with this team.
Nope.
And that's what's
scary
is again, trust something in the trust a wild card, I guess.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you got to hope that last year they all learned. They learned on the job. They made a lot of mistakes, but they learned from it. But Moogie's made a lot of good trades. I like the Jermaine Johnson trade. We like the Sauce trade, Quinn trade. They put themselves in a position to have a lot of success if they handle it well. Shitload of cap space, shitload of draft picks, get good players, be smart, play competitive football, and everybody wins. We're not asking a lot. They're in the position to do it. Now they have to actually do it. They talked about it. They said all the right things now. At least Moogie did. Now they got to show us. It's going to start in a week.
At least Moogie. But this, like I said last time, this is the same team that we could think they could draft Arvell Reese, and literally within the course of, because it's March right now. Within the course of a month, they'll draft Ty Simpson or
no, they won't take him at 2.
They better won't. Not.
They won't.
Because it don't make sense.
No,
like
they won't.
There's other holes on the team you have to fill. I heard Malachi Lemon. I don't know if Carnell Tate will be there at 16. I got Sadiq, the tight end, to see if you could get him at 16, even though I feel like other teams, they going to want him within that like 10 to 12 range. So it's just
we do a request there. Good call, man. So are you at least excited about free agency?
I don't give a damn. I could care less. Aaron Glenn, count your days, because if you suck, your ass is out of here. Respect you as a player. Y'all have a good night, man.
Have a good night, man.
Oh my God.
He always starts out happy and he always ends angry sometimes. Notice that every time he ends angry.
Talks himself into the anchor.
He just every time, man. It's crazy. I just feel bad, but you can see the frustration is building in his head. It's just like,
Yeah.
Interesting.
I can't say I disagree with definitely the Glenn. His days are numbered. That's certainly what it feels like.
Yeah. I mean, you figure this time next week we're gonna have players on our team, new players on our team.
Yeah. I'm like scared.
I mean,
There's like a nervous energy because I
may
just
take off
don't know
work
what
next
the heck they're
Sunday.
going to do. Specifically with the quarterback.
I'm hoping they
I'm
trade
just-
for somebody before. I'm hoping they get
Yeah.
Brissett before this all even starts.
I think I hope they trade for somebody too. Frankly, I think a lot of the trade options are better than free agents, which we've talked a lot about.
Yep, for fucking 3 months now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we always end the show on a positive, and there's only one winner on this show, and that's a Super Bowl champion, Jose, which is still just crazy. As he comes on and insults us for 3 minutes. What's up, man?
Hey guys,
He's going.
What you do, man?
when do I insult you? When do I?
You don't insult us. You just had little comments about the Jets. Make fun of them.
No, I don't.
Why is your dog so mad back there?
Delivery.
You must have learned from Afram. You don't feed him?
Delivery.
Delivery? What'd you order? Pizza?
I don't know. Something from the Amazon. It wasn't my order. I don't
What do
know.
you buy on
what it-
Amazon? You buying Sam Darnold jerseys?
No. Tyson,
What?
like you, I would trade back the number 6 and draft Caleb down.
Oh, I would love that.
But that's just me.
I
But
like
what
that a
do you
lot.
think?
Yeah, I'd be trading back with the Browns and getting 6 and 24 is very intriguing. It's just what would the Browns then be trading up for? That's the big thing. Downs, and then you go Lemon, and then
The kid from Texas Tech?
David
David?
Bailey.
David Bailey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Akeem Messador too for Miami could be like an option. He's been gaining some steam like top half of the first round. He's not in the Arvell Reese David Bailey tier, but I could
No.
see a world where they trade back to 6, let's say with Cleveland in this scenario. You go Downs, Mekhi Lemon, and then you get your edge rusher at
I like
24.
that.
Messador could be there.
And you signed one in free agency too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be angry at that.
Me neither.
No.
We're all about positivity and happiness, Jose.
Hey, speaking of which,
Uh-oh.
can I get the goat?
Of course.
Bring happiness. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Have a great night, man. Talk to
Have a
you.
good one.
Love you, man. See, Tony always comes in the chat once the show and says, "I want to hear the GOAT." So we take requests here. They want to hear it. We do it. Why not? How the hell was this show 2 hours and 10 minutes?
Yeah.
What did we
It was-
talk about?
Trading back, quarterbacks, Breece,
Linebackers.
linebackers, Tyler Algier,
Hot dogs in Clifton.
hot dogs. Yes, Rutt's Hut.
We may have to start earlier next week, man.
You know what'd be nice is if as a fan you can if you're a free agent every couple of years as a fan.
Yeah.
Instead of being,
I mean, I would have gone
Be
a long
nice.
time ago.
Oh yeah. I would have been out after the rookie contract.
I don't know if I can wait till 8:00 next Monday. I'm gonna be just chomping at the bit to do something because there's gonna be all
Yeah.
kinds of news.
Especially if they do something stupid.
Yeah.
Which
I'll be texting you. I'll text you on the
Yeah.
spot. Like we got to do this now.
if they do something dumb. Jeez.
They get
Wouldn't
Kyler
surprise
Murray.
me.
Like they get Kyler Murray day one.
Yeah, if they get Kyler Murray, that's gonna be. I just, yeah, that would tell you a lot about Aaron Glenn.
Yep.
They get Kyler Murray, like he's kind of folding already.
He's desperate as hell.
Yep, definitely.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us once again. Somehow this is tomorrow's show will be interesting. Tomorrow it may actually be on Wednesday. I'm not really sure. I got to catch up with Ian, but we may have to move to Wednesday or earlier tomorrow. But we'll make sure we share it. But yeah, we're gonna have. I think Ian will probably fight tomorrow, which is something new. And then next Monday, me and you, dude, the free agency breakdown. So
Yep.
you better brace yourself.
Yes, looking forward to it.
Thank you guys for joining us. We'll talk to you later.
Have a good one.